So, in the last session, we had finally made it to the Pale Scholar.
Do you want to turn TV down just a touch?
Sorry, I said sorry.
It's alright.
Pale Scholar.
Shall I keep skyway now?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Alright. Yes, and while you were there, you kind of found out that he was an ex-member of the cult of Croconus, and he doesn't like what they're about, and wanted to kind of dipped out because he had a pretty critical piece of information that Orenthor was able to tempt him to run away with, which is the location of the Drovnar Peaks. Which is has also been revealed to us, is the home of this sort of unusual clan of these very pure-blooded dragonborn sorcerer folk, who are a necessary piece of the ritual required to summon his mask, his artifact. Which would kind of restore the power of Krogotech, which is the ability to control all the chromatic dragons. Some of the other things that were important for this, it's a little bit loud, isn't it?
Touch. Yeah, that's good.
Some of the other elements that were necessary. One of them is the skeleton, or at least the skull of a true ancient dragon, one that's been around since the dawn of time, which Mogzanor informed you is in one of their bases, which is a hotly guarded secret even from him.
And did you say that Orenthor is not original ancient dragon that's been around since?
No, Orenthor's very old, but I mean it doesn't come into play anyway because it's not like you'd want his.
Yeah.
I mean,
just
I don't know. Maybe you do want to do it
just for flavour.
And in addition, there's a sort of legendary amulet called the Eye of Tiamat, which Mogzanor isn't. I don't think he knows if they've got it or not.
Warfels?
No, you don't get me.
Warfel?
You're going to want to hear them.
Yeah, I might want to, yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'll put them close to Oscar so he can eat more.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
They're probably really hot. Help yourself.
yeah. So, you actually know the location of Drovnar Peak. It's to the northeast of Mount Nagron, which is home of Aziraphale, the Great Worm, who's pretty fearsome. This place would be a pretty stressful place to go on account of the very high density of chromatic dragons in the area.
So is it still in the scales though, is that right?
Still in the scales,
Yeah.
yes. In addition, you met Rudy, a new party member who is kind of bound to this quest, similar to you guys. She delivered to you a message that the cult of Croconus are planning to attack Coon Crest, and in doing so will be revealing a portion of their force, which must be important to them for some reason. No, he's with you, mate.
He's right there.
He's right there. You don't need this little one. He's gone. He's dead.
I want him.
He's evolved.
He's wanted. Sorry,
For
carry
a
on.
posh purpose.
Keep him to hold.
Yeah. So. You guys had also found that the voice on the other end of this golden horn was the voice of a lieutenant called. That's what you say, isn't it? Lieutenant, yeah. There's a lieutenant called Grassinex, who was just quite a powerful individual. He was kind of directly overseeing a lot of Mogzanor's work, and you kind of got this weird connection to this nasty boss man now.
Oh, because Mogzanor told us. Yeah, can't see it.
You recognise the phone number.
Been there late at night.
So, has anyone got anything to add?
Well, didn't we decide that
Rudy said that
I was going to fly on Dragos back to Cool Crest and try and warn them?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we fleshed that out.
We don't, yeah, it's a bit back and forth. But yeah, I mean, this is where we can. I mean, did you have something to say, Fergie? Were you going to add something?
I was going to add the thing about the place being attacked, but it looks like we talked about that already.
Okay. Well, we'll pick up that where you left off with that discussion. So, you guys are worried about whether the cult of Draconis have discovered the location of Drovnar Peaks or not, and may have invaded it or maybe taken to the Dragon Ball, which they require for the ritual. You know that they're all sorcerer folk. They're quite powerful. So even if they are found, who knows what's actually going on. Either way, kind of need to find out. Similarly, at the moment, we don't have a way of immediately letting Cool Crest know that they're in for a pretty big surprise.
And did Mogzanor agree to leave the Red Spore Caverns with us or not?
He said he'll come with, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's sick of this stinking town. He even tried to kill himself, but he also no.
Not even. We were like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Something I just thought of. So, roleplay.
Doing roleplay.
Yeah, I'll just
Sure, go for
jump
it.
into it. Say we've been travelling, I don't know, or making our way to the exit of the Red Spore Caverns for a couple of days. We've been travelling with them, or is there anything else?
Yeah, sure.
Are we still discussing where we want to go? Like,
Yeah. So I was just going to add something to that.
I mean,
before
we could say that you're like in transit on
Yeah.
the way out of the cave, because I mean you're leaving the cave either way, right? Or maybe no.
Yeah, there was talk of leaving the Horn with Mogzanor and.
But he's coming
calling
with us
things
for now
over.
to get out of the caverns. So
Wow.
we're travelling across the caverns at the moment.
But have we decided that?
Can
Unless you wanted
someone
to.
remind me what the deal with the horn is?
So
Did this as a tracing thing, right?
yeah, so
So as far away from it as possible.
yeah, so because I'm casting non-detection all the time.
Casting characters, to be fair, just to get into the roleplay.
No, go on, let's chuck it.
no,
I
no,
know
yeah.
it's a bit,
Sure.
a bit forced. but-
Yeah, I don't really know like what I'm trying to say, but
Well, you're casting on detection, aren't you?
You're the fucking nerd.
yeah.
Dorman, do explain how this horn works.
Yes. Well, I don't know for sure, but from what I understood by who told me Mogzanor. What Mogzanor said not 2 minutes ago. Of course, you listened, right? Was that it seems the person connected on the other side of this horn might be able to detect the location of the one using this one. However, because I've been casting non-detection on us in perpetuity,
Right.
they have not so far been able to discover our location.
Alright,
So we've been
that's
safe,
great.
as
Sure.
through pure chance, really.
Oh, no.
But we might be able to use it to we might be able to use it to our advantage if we wanted to lure the cult away from wherever.
Right, I think that's a really good idea.
And can you detect where the person on the other end of the horn is?
I say as you look over at Mogzanor, he says, "It is possible, but in doing so, you could run the risk of the information being transferred, even through your own spell. You could try it if you wish."
How come he can do it to us?
It's
Well,
their horn, Enoch. It is
I'm
their
simply saying
design.
that if you were to try and do it yourself, it simply means that they may be able to contact you as well when you make the connection. You can both do it, but in you doing it, you may
High risk,
succumb.
high reward.
Indeed.
And how unpleasant was that man?
Pretty angry.
Well,
I
yeah,
would,
that makes sense.
I would say that.
What I'm
once an
saying is
ex-
it might serve two purposes all at once. Enoch cuts in over the top of Mortimer. It might divert the forces away from Cool and Chris, and we might learn more about our enemy.
Yes, but you also might imminently die
From a horn.
Well,
from the resulting onslaught.
I
of-
would add that Grassinix has underneath him the control of Beatrice and Luxus, two great powerful dragons. However, you may be onto something with letting them know our location, because I don't doubt that he'll be sending them to Coolin Crest as part of the battle force. If you were able to pull them away, perhaps Coolin Crest would stand more of a chance.
And how do you propose that we should deal with such dragons?
I'm not really in the business of killing dragons. It's quite difficult.
I don't think
Funnily
we
enough,
should.
Neither are we.
I don't think we should simply move the fight to us in the cave rather than against Coolin Crest. I think we should make ourselves scarce.
I'm saying we lead them on a merry goose chase. We lead them to the caves, right into the centre of the caves, and no one is suggesting that we're there at the same time.
Enoch, we could lead them to the mushroom people. Whatever they're called.
Can you really suggest this?
After seeing what that little...
They've got it.
No, I wouldn't say that. No, ignore
Are there
me.
not more
Ignore me.
fearsome foe in the game we could possibly lead them to?
Yes,
What about
one, but we
Lady
killed it.
Tinkali?
Clinkali.
I would say that it would simply. I don't.
They
think
got beaten by the mushroom.
the hierarchy's not working out. Yeah.
Oh shit. I thought I put a timer on.
Jesus, pizza sensors fucking tingling there. Mogsanor says, well, it could help to try and draw Grassinix here, as while I don't doubt that the army will be sent to Coolin Crest regardless, Grassinix is one of their top lieutenants. They would have to send someone else to lead the army.
And
All I'm
there's-
saying is it just doesn't seem right that we leave these people, regardless of whether we warn them or not, unaided in their hour of need, an hour of need that we have brought upon them.
I have to say, I agree with the lead goblin over here.
I knew you were a ringer, Trudy.
Thank you, other one.
The only issue with the drawing them away plan is that there's no guarantee they won't still send a force to Coolin Crest anyway.
Oh, they
They-
most definitely will be sending a force to Coolin Crest. I'm sure of that.
Oscar's written it.
As noble as
Oh, hang on a minute. I think Rudy's got cancer.
Hey, it's about-
Don't worry, it's benign.
Benign and a half.
Benign for now.
Cancer rating out of 10. About benign and a half.
Wait, I have a question about the horn. Does the person need to be using the horn for it to detect them?
Well, from my use of it, it was always a matter of you would know the location of the other horn
Right.
when you were to use it through a divine sense, and once the other person made contact, you would then know who you were speaking with as well. However, it seems like your friend Dorwin here has managed to produce some sort of trickery to avoid these consequences.
So,
Lots of trickery.
You're right, we could take the horn, leave it somewhere where neither of us are, Coolin Crest nor wherever else we might go, and just abandon it there.
Yes,
So-
I would be somewhat aware of the fact that I'm not sure how much interest would be generated by an entirely stagnant horn.
Alright.
Can
Why not
we?
strap
We
it
could
to a
sort of
pig?
say...
Or a goat?
Something along this line.
Why
Send
not?
it down a river. But
Well, I think we should gaze into the eyes of the man who hunts us and who seeks dominion over the world.
Aussie accent.
I'm trying. Try and draw as many of the forces out of Coolin Crest as possible. But it does seem to me that regardless, even if we do divert a fraction of their forces away, even a significant portion, That town is in grave danger, and I, for one, would not feel comfortable just standing by and condemning innocent souls to their fate, regardless of what you feel about this Gesh. I know you have a heart of stone, but I ask myself, what would Tide do in these situations? Tide would not run.
Enoch, you could not be more wrong about my heart. I am just removing this mere immediate danger. I'm removing myself from this immediate danger and looking at the greater picture.
Oh, I know you're removing all empathy from the situation, like a psychopath.
How on earth do you propose we evade these great dragons?
Oh,
We are to call on this horn and we are to communicate.
Well, hopefully, when we call on the horn and lure the lieutenants away from the main horde, luring them to some place far away that we are not.
How do you propose we activate the horn then?
Well, Dorwin's already activated it once before, ain't you, mate?
Yeah.
So activation's not a
activate
problem. It's just deciding on a course of action.
We'd just have to make sure we leave the caves before they enter them.
Didn't you
something.
Didn't you activate the horn while you were holding it though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Why? Right.
No,
Yes,
no,
I'm not sure you've quite grasped the situation.
I don't think I have.
So the plan could be leave the cave, find a small woodland creature, use the horn, try and figure out the location of Gravelax, tie the horn to the woodland creature to pretend as if we're on the move, and Scarper as fast as our legs will carry us.
As much as I love the idea of putting a poor woodland creature in harm's way, why doesn't
Mogsinor stay in the cave and lure them for weeks into the cave? It took us.
I suggest.
Yeah, we tried so hard to make him not do that.
I've considered it.
What were you going to say,
Hey,
Paul?
I was not.
I haven't worked out the logistics of it, but
Yeah.
I think what I can do is be able to hightail somewhere quite quickly.
Okay.
So my plan was maybe that you and me could take the horn, fly north, far away from where the crew currently are, use the horn, abandon it, come back, then we can go on our merry way.
Yeah?
Abandon the
Anyone's
horn
got
in the
any
direction.
scores to settle with an abusive bloke at a tavern?
Oh wait, who's that?
Seems to me
I
a
don't know
score
about
might
that.
be settled with a priceless horn.
That's some score settling there.
Bring 2 dragons onto them.
No, that bar I stole that loot from still has something coming to it. I mean,
It's just like derelict, broke. Like, oh my god, I'm sucked. They took my potions, they took my money.
Don't worry, we got you a new horn.
Whoa.
Who is this? Oh no.
Can I improvise a little bit here? There are some ancestral enemies of my family over in the mountains to the east.
No.
No, I know you haven't already told you about it. But maybe we could somehow leave the horn in their possession to distract.
I mean, you can travel the fastest out of all of us, and it's not hard to use the horn.
Sorry, Oscar. I'm just saying. I've literally just pulled that. Sorry. Yeah, go on.
So, by all means, go and drop these foes of yours in it.
Not very noble of you.
Finding a power to fight my enemies is all I live for.
Right, I'd recommend we go with you to maintain the spell.
I can give it you for 8 hours.
Oh, distance isn't
Yeah,
a
yeah.
problem. Right. How
How
far
far
away
can
are
I
the-
get on Dragos in 8 hours?
We'll say
40 feet times
40
40 feet in 6 seconds.
no,
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 no, it's a different metric for travel.
Okay. That would be like 3 million kilometers.
288 miles.
How far is that across the Irrigast? Not very far.
No, it's a small percentage.
I could go with you,
It's
or
not, it's a key.
300 miles is.
I mean, keep in mind, if you can do that in 8 hours, an adult dragon can definitely do that in 8 hours.
Yeah, do it like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Do you want a pizza, though?
Not yet, thanks.
So maybe that plan was not the best idea.
But what I'm saying is, much like Mobsonor, I now feel that it took us weeks to chart our way this deeply into the Red Spore Caverns. Even a dragon flying at faster speed, and even one as mighty as one of the lieutenants of the Horde, would still have to be mindful of the fate of befalling a fate similar to Tide and Alictu in these caverns. I'm sure there are far more numerous foes that are potential to be lurking somewhere out there in the depths.
That's when Mobsonor says Sparky could have taken them.
Honestly,
wants to bring it
Mobsonor,
up.
he was a bit of a bitch. I mean,
Let's
all
leave
right.
Mobsonor in the
I
cave.
mean, if Sparky could have taken them, then these lieutenants are going to be no problem at all.
This guy loved his pat. Maybe give him a break.
Enoch cocked up.
Popped up. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No quarter.
So yeah, so are we finding a way to that Cooling Crest now? Are we going to Cooling Crest? Are we going to go to Drovnar Peaks? What are we doing? What are the movements?
Sounds like
I
people
thought-
are pretty set on defending the random citizens of Coolencrest.
Yeah. Big battle.
Which, who am I to, suggest the fate of the world is more important? Not I.
Indeed, I somewhat agree with you. Shall I not fly ahead and warn them at Cooling Crest to evacuate and get themselves as safely distant as possible, and then we go and make our way north?
I think a big fight would be a lot cooler, don't you?
We may all die.
And that's why we play D&D.
Right, but either way, we're gonna
Guess what's
die,
going on.
right? Like, it's
We will
either-
likely all die.
Well, you might die, but I'll back myself.
Did we not learn our lesson from Tide and Alictu to be foolish and
I'll be on a different plane of existence, so I'm not overly bothered. But
What's that bag?
Cast fireball in their head.
Right, if we don't go to Cooling Crest, everyone there dies. For sure.
we don't know that.
Well, we do. They have massive dragons.
And we're going to fight massive dragons.
No, we're
At
going to
some point, we're
lure.
gonna have to fight massive dragons.
We're going to lure.
I think we avoid massive dragons, but
But we don't
I'm
know-
only level 7!
We're going to lure the dragons away and try and get a head start on the cult of Croconus and deal a decisive defeat to their main horde. This will substantially weaken them and allow us to move more freely through not just the scales, but stand us in a better stead. It seems to me that we are already fighting this war, whether we like it or not, Dorwin, and a battle is just a matter of time. I'd say we stop running. You've been running all your life. It's now time we stop and make a stand for the people of Cooling Crest. We can do our best to mitigate the perils that befall us, but this is the life you chose as an adventurer.
Right, wise words.
That was a
Aye.
good speech.
Oh.
Yeah, like I say, I'm happy to defend.
Real sarcastic about it for the whole month.
I didn't choose this life. Is all I'm saying.
Did we
Oh,
decide
yeah.
it was going to
You're killing me here.
I'll come with you.
take? Did we decide it was going to take roughly the same amount of time to get to where we think dropping our peaks are?
No, significantly longer to get to Droghna Peaks than Quillen Crest.
Alright, let's go to Golden Crest. Easier.
Yep, you've convinced me to come with you, but you've not convinced me it's a good idea.
Alright.
Well, that's as much as anyone can ask for. To Quillen Crest, onwards. By the way, guys, for this, I would like to be referred to as General Innocenti from now on.
Alright, General Innocenti, nice to meet you.
And I'd like to be
When
referred
did you
to
join?
as Innocenti's master from here on out.
Right, man-in-law. Right, in
Oh,
terms
I don't
of
believe
travel,
I gave you that promotion,
I
did
should
I?
have asked you this not during the session.
Yeah.
But we can all fly, I think, if I can carry 2 human forms, right?
What, as an
As an eagle.
You can't. I don't think you can fly.
Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to eagle yet.
It's level 2, it says, which I am because of the circle of the moon. No?
I don't think you can fly until a high level. I think you're restricted by flying. I think you can swim. You can do swimming animals, but I don't think you can do flying animals.
Okay, I need to. You might be right. Hang on.
There's like a
I'm
little
not guessing
cave.
right.
To be fair, it might be a different thing, but I think I remember being like, oh, cool, you can fly, and then saying, oh, actually, it's a. I think at level 6 you get swimming speed, and at level 8 you get flying speed. Maybe.
Okay. Okay.
When can druids fly?
Circle of the moon.
This is level 8. So yeah, reminder that druids, including moon druids, can't take forms with the swim speed until level 4, and can't take forms with the fly speed until level 8.
Okay, so let's.
Next level.
I'm just gonna level up somehow real quick, and then
Yeah.
we'll be back.
Just
Looks
kill the
like
rest of the party.
Looks like we're gonna grind killing boars.
Handing in some quests for pop up.
We stand here in the woods and kill boars. Oh, that's how the World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah. Here's what you do to be better.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are currently. I mean, we'll say that the travel's progressing through the Westport Caverns. As you're talking about going to this potential battle, you hear a little thought pass through your minds, coming from Hosby saying, "Oh, can I come to the battle?"
Absolutely, Hosby.
You did so well in the last one.
Yes. I'm so excited.
Why?
And just a question, Hosby.
It was
Are
part of the deal.
Well, I guess.
Oh, you do it.
Oh, yeah.
What,
Yes,
what was
we
that?
we agreed we'd take him, we'd escort him out of the caverns, as was his wish to be an adventurer, if he would. Fuck's he done for us?
If he was
Shut up for a second.
if he was going to go back
So,
to his people and have a reasonable conversation with them, explaining his desire to leave, he's a free will, despite being an obliterated piece of goop at this point.
Despite being a hive mind.
Yeah.
He's an individual.
Well, no, he's the hive.
No, I'm not.
In what fashion is he with us?
He's
Do we
the
have like a
hive.
thing, or is
No.
it just
A little
He's
puddle of
Yeah.
yeah.
maybe one mushroom spore.
Free will if he's
right?
off on his
So we
own.
can't stick a horn to it.
We could put him in the
Oh
horn.
yes, Hosby. Yeah, Hosby. Just climb inside this cup, would you?
Alright, so Hosby's coming with us. Great.
Yes. I'm very excited. I can't wait.
Just as an addendum, I think it's still a good idea that the Drake goes ahead of us. Right?
Yes, and
I agree.
if-
Any time that Yesh can be a
That'd be
part of
rude.
the message.
Don't be rude.
If that's alright with you, sir.
It's in character, it's fine.
Yeah, I was only joking.
I must ask though before I take my leave, what do we do? What do we intend to do to distract these lieutenants of the cult of Croconis?
We all just
Right.
look at mugs and all.
Well, weren't we just going to try and make contact with the horn? In doing so, revealing our location?
Aye.
Or do you
We're
mean
going
do you
to try
mean
and make
what
it
would
a
we
two-way
say?
thing and take the risk.
So, as a DM, just to like out of character,
Yeah.
to clarify,
Yeah.
We're doing exactly your original plan.
I don't have an original.
No.
Yeah, you did.
No, we don't.
Mognor originally was going to stay.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. He's going to fly ahead with the horn.
Oh,
As-
am I?
No, not with the
I
horn.
meant to go to
No,
Cooling
not with the
Yeah,
horn.
then
Oh, sorry.
Not with the horn at all. If we
Oh,
fly
okay.
ahead with the horn, everyone's going to know he's in. We are
Oh,
in
yeah,
Cooling
yeah,
Crest.
fine.
We're gonna. The
So-
horn is going to stay
We're here
here.
where we say we are.
The horn is going to stay here in the Red
Give me
Scroll
that,
Caverns
Nick.
with Mogzanor.
Don't want it.
Mogzanor is going to distract as many as their forces,
And then kill
lead them
himself.
deep within the caverns. I doubt there are a few people that know this place better than he. It took us months to chart a path here. I imagine even going full speed, it would still be a significant undertaking, even for mighty dragons to delve so deep into these caverns. Once Mogzanor has led, hopefully, the lion's part of the raiding army away from Cooling Crest, it should make our life a bit easier to pick up the scraps.
I think it would be more of a situation that Grassanex would come himself with the aid of Buttress and Luxus. Cooling Crest, I fear, will still suffer the bulk of the army regardless of.
Right, and the issue with us
Well, in that
leaving the
case-
horn here is that whichever direction we go in, they'll be coming from that direction.
Also, we have to consider that Mogzanor knows the location of Drovnar Peaks, which is what we're desperately trying to avoid Cooling Crest knowing. So, us putting ourselves in harm's way is a risk, and B, Mogzanor putting himself in is also one.
That's
We agreed Mogzanor would have to kill himself quite rapidly after using the horn in order for this to be safe.
Oh, there's a lot of
Mogzanor is pretty okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Guess just like catching him.
It's like Final Destination, just like tripping onto rakes and shit.
I don't, to get into it, I just don't think leaving the horn here is a good idea.
Yeah, why would we leave
Why
it here
not?
rather than somewhere?
Why
But
not?
the
leave
horn
the
has
horn?
no value. Do you want to use it again?
No, but why
No,
would
but
we?
to
Why would we
see-
do it in the cavern
somewhere-
rather than somewhere in the middle of the scales?
Just because the cavern's a difficult place to get to.
If by any chance we were compromised, or if the dragons were to come to the caverns while we were still here, we may very well be able to make our escape somewhat more stealthily than being out in the open where the dragons are at their most advantageous in the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, I am most comfortable in these caverns, but there is only a set number of places you can go, and if one of our routes is cut off, we might be forced somewhere we don't want to go. But I think there's much of a muchness in terms of safety.
Well, you've been drawing the map, Dorwin. How many days travel are we from the edge of these caverns?
What was it like 7 days? Something like that?
7 days. Oh, that is a while.
But we'll say you've been traveling.
Travelling.
So
Or maybe a day flying.
And remind me, how many exits have we been able to identify?
Only the one we came in so far. We know there's a path up past the drow that we haven't.
Ah, yes, where they held the link to.
Yeah, but we don't know. I assume there's a way out that way, but we don't know how far.
Well, could you and Dragos fly north? and
Inside
out-
the caverns.
Inside the back the way you've come.
We came from the east.
Oh, whichever way
Yes,
you know to
yeah.
get out,
West.
Sorry, came from the west. Yes, we came east. We came from the west. Sorry,
Right.
sorry.
which will take you like a day on Dragos's back or so.
A couple of days.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
take
gonna
about
get
a-
the numbers right.
yeah, it probably would take about a day. That's right. That's probably
Right.
about right.
And then
And,
then another 2 days, say, as far whichever way
Away from Cooling Crest.
away from Cooling Crest, and then you've got time to turn around, come back, and find us.
And
So,
just a
suits me.
suggestion, how
talk that.
maybe later. How much weight can Dragos carry? Seems to me that we are a party of little ones.
Yeah, you turn and you look at Dragos and you say that, and he just squawks at you aggressively as if to say, fuck off.
Point taken. Dragos isn't helping. I don't know why I bother.
I think basically just the mechanics are that I'm the only person that can be carried on him. So I think if we it'd be a bit game breaking, wouldn't it?
I think I think you probably like pick people up a bit and like put them places, but probably not like a bit
Without
like
me on him.
Yeah, or maybe, but then you could like go a hell of a massive distance. Maybe you probably could like Dorwin or something. Maybe
Maybe Dora.
Very small.
because Dorwin probably weighs less than your backpack.
Indeed. So sweet. Yeah, that's.
Alright.
Do that then.
Go with that.
Alright.
If it's the will of the
Alright,
party,
you're
I
gonna
will.
go, Dora.
Dragos and Dorwin bait in the
Yeah.
fucking in the middle of nowhere.
So we're gonna
then
leave the
escape.
Red Spore Caverns, try and bait them, and then we're gonna fucking hightail it back.
Hightail it back to Crest, yes.
We might as well all just leave the Red Spore Caverns then. We may as well all transition ourselves. from
True,
this
we've got
dark
like
place.
over a month before they attack Crest. We could
Yeah.
probably just.
Maybe we could even.
But then leaving the area of where we caused the distraction, we might not be fast enough in the time it takes for 2 dragons to reach it.
Is exactly my
we
point
know.
earlier.
So
How fast?
So let's-
Yeah.
let's do that. So let's us fly with the thing. People on feet can head directly to Crest, avoid the horn entirely.
Dragos may not
And-
be able to bear you as well as me. Would he be able to bear us?
I think you just
I
said.
think you could do
probably just
Dorwin.
that door.
Okay.
Probably not the others though.
Okay.
And Dorwin, when you do gaze into the eyes of the horn, try and find out their location at the same time. Good
Good
luck, my
idea.
friend.
Will do.
Actually, to make
May-
it somewhat compromising, shall I say that
Second
I have to make sure that Dragos can
Second
carry Dorwin.
Second.
I've got to give all my shit to him.
Second, watch over you.
Yeah, probably Polana. She's the strongest. Yeah.
Shout. Yeah. Okay. Let's say I give all my stuff to Polana.
Or I can give all my stuff.
Well, you don't weigh anything, so you keep all your shit.
Alright.
So,
Also,
but you-
I can fly for an hour 3 times a day.
There
So-
you go. Make Dragos' life a bit
Probably,
easier.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that means. I sort of take my pack off and like I take my bow off and I take my short swords out.
For your inventory, see if there's anything you can keep on you that you'd be willing to
Maybe
take.
just
and
your
might take.
just your weapons. Just drop your backpack. You know.
Well, I was gonna, for flavour, just say that I had to pretty much give up everything up to make sure
Well, see
that
if
the
there's any.
Turners could get on.
Yeah, but as in like Dragons, you know the difference between like if you want to bring some rope or something, it's not going to be a game.
Well, I just take
Or like
my
just
bow
your
and
bow.
arrow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sure, fine.
That's all I take then.
Cool.
Bow and the arrows that you don't need.
Indeed. In fact, yeah, this one and only time, I'll give my arrows and the rest of my pack to Polana to carry on her steed. Stag.
Oh yeah.
And are we just saying that this pack goat does or doesn't exist? And it's outside.
I bought it.
We
I
paid.
was just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say, we still.
I paid for it.
We'll say we left him at the entrance of the caves.
Yeah, he's been munching on grass.
Gonna
Not getting
be-
eaten by dragons.
What, do you roll and see? if
Yeah, I
it's-
mean,
I've got no attachment.
I mean, he's got all that shit.
We bought a goat in
Yeah, but that won't be
Kulum.
gone.
No, sorry, in Jerkim.
We've been gone for like 2 weeks.
We've literally been gone
It's
ages.
almost gone. If you roll a 10.
what? I did roll a 10.
Did you pick up
Wasn't
the
doing
goat when
10
it
or
burnt
20.
berries?
Yeah, that's
by
pretty
the-
savage. 50% chance.
Before that.
Oh!
Yeah, the goat was. Oh no, wait.
Seems to me a goat left on a mountainside.
Yeah, I swear.
Has a pretty
Oh,
high
nice.
chance of getting fucked.
They do live there. Yeah, every day.
It's a goat without a pack.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
weighed down with all of our
Mate,
stuff.
this one's got like fucking rope caltrops. Like this is the worst one to attack. Yeah. What?
Spell scroll.
It's just a pile of hair bits. Okay, cool.
You outside, he's like, shoves everything back in the bag.
He's like eating the bacon.
Yes, that game sent him.
Oh, hello, I mean. Okay, so.
Let's get out of here. Who's
last
Smogs
of-
and all coming with?
The last of Thrasher has been
Yeah,
eaten
hang
by
on.
the
He may,
goat.
he may as well. He can carry our
Yeah.
pack. He ain't got
Should we
shit.
say we'll have the
You take Mogsy.
Oh,
Oh, and you've got Pilana as well, so.
yeah, speaking to Mogzanor as well, while we're travelling. Mogzanor, I must ask, is there anybody still within the cult that you feel you can trust?
There's no one in the cult I would stand anywhere near. When you're in, it's definitely it's hard to have their grasp released on you. It was only through Orventhor's power that I was able to.
Fuck me. Do you know why I did that?
Oh, look at me. It looks like you wasted all your pizza tingles on us.
Yeah, I did. Stupid.
So, there is no contact that you feel we could potentially confide in an hour of need.
Trash.
Oh well.
The only individual who has any association with the cult that we could potentially go to, and given Orventhor's voice is to be trusted, would be Khazal, but alas, the control of the gem may be too much. If there were some way to avoid this, then I don't doubt that Khazal could be a trusted ally.
I feel that without the gem, Khazal would likely eat me.
And most of us.
He is rather fearsome. Something about that underbite. Get off my butt, you did. Something is there.
That's some fucking nice pizza.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I guess if all's in order, we best head out. I'm keen to be free of this cave. It's been my prison for the last decade.
Do that.
Well,
Right?
well, Mogsy, that's what you get when you throw in your lot with an evil cult.
Says yes. I shan't be making that mistake again. You're not
As far as
evil
you
cult,
know.
are you? Okay, are you guys happy with that?
No, but
Alright.
I propose, Dorwin, that we fly somewhat south. Yes, we will go towards danger in the lands of the dragons, but it could be a good decoy if those lieutenants happen to run into trouble of their own.
So you're going to go towards the area of dragons when calling the dragons.
A thought has just occurred. If
Wow.
there's quite a large amount of time that may be in between until the attack of Cool and Cress, perhaps the diversion could simply wait until closer to the date.
Agreed.
Indeed. Thank you, Morton.
Probably
That's
smart.
what I'm here for.
Why don't we give it to one of the... Why don't we trigger it in one of the dwarven cities? They seem pretty well set up for defending against dragon attacks. If there was going to be a race of
That
people...
is true. I do believe that Grassanex wouldn't dare try and attack one of the main dwarven cities. They are indeed well defended against dragons.
Then it would be a waste of a diversion.
This is true.
Or maybe the lure, the bait, is too tempting. He finally has the control of the world at his fingertips. Is that not motivation you need to launch a desperate all-out assault, one that he cannot win? Is that not the perfect carrot and the perfect stick to foil it against?
I would say that the cult has been progressing for thousands of years. I don't think they would throw it all away.
And is this Grassanex easily provoked into rash decisions?
Grassanex is a difficult man to understand. He is fully and wholly devoted to the restoration of Krototech.
Seems to me that any mortal creature has their vices, has their buttons, has their pressure points that can be pushed, forcing them into blind anger.
If Grassanex
Anger.
has such things, it is not something I have ever detected myself. However, if you're able to find
Well,
anything,
maybe we could go past a dwarven settlement that is the most well defended, use the horn, explain to Grasinex that we, with the location of Drovnar Peaks that he's after, are no longer in Kulencrest, prove that by him divining the location of our horn, and then seeing if he'll attack.
What about if we say that these Dragonborn that are essential to his plan are located in one of the Dwarven strongholds? What if we say we've got to them first? We've convinced them to seek sanctuary in the safest place in the Scales. What is Grasinex going to do? Never leave?
Why would Grasinex believe such information?
We would have no evidence. I tried to convince him I was a cult member and he saw right through me.
It might
And
not be
these
the-
Dragonborn, I mean, we have a Dragonborn with us. Are you the wrong type of Dragonborn, Gesh?
It's only voice. We can't prove that we have a Dragonborn with us either. All we can do is talk to him and tell him our location. That's the only information we can convey.
It might not be the worst idea to get the dwarves of the Scales on our side before we set out. They hate the dragons, we all do. And I'm sure they'd be willing to lend their aid as best they can.
Yeah, I would just think it would probably be like the dwarves in the Scales are part of the Eastbourne province, so they'd be involved in.
In the Kulencrest.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like they're the same empire.
Are they?
We,
Interesting.
we did say if we were to warn Kulencrest, all of Eastbourne would
There's
defend.
other dwarves.
Towards the beta to Eastbourne.
Dwarves run Eastbourne.
What do they?
Yeah.
Oh, bad.
The leader of Eastbourne's a dwarf. The leader of Eastbourne's a Maldio.
So where's the nearest Eastbourne settlement to where we are?
I mean, I guess.
Whereabouts are we in Scales actually right now? Red Spore Caverns are sort of to the west, is that right?
So they're sort of in between Luton Orin, I think,
Clockager,
north of. Yeah, so Clockager and then south and slightly to the east.
Oh, Luton Orin, yeah.
Doran, I think you're right. We can't necessarily we can't help that much. But what we can do is, light the beacons as quickly as possible. So
Yes,
let's just go to the nearest place where there are other people.
Yeah.
I agree.
If you go to Clockager, it took you guys a week to get there.
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe
we can-
maybe they'll have messengers faster
To
than us.
Clockager,
Yeah, exactly.
and then buy some fast steeds and make haste
That's
to
a shout.
Eastbourne.
They may very well have methods of communication faster than Dragus and I.
Mm.
It would seem likely.
Okay,
Great.
let's do that.
Does that mean we have to go back through the rest of our caverns?
No.
Okay.
No. To get to Clockager, it's on the surface.
Oh, can we just go up at any point?
Clockager is like
We
the
can
upper.
travel
Travelling
out
back
while
through
we're
the Red
talking.
Spore Caverns.
Oh, we've left, have we?
Well,
We're on the way
we're
out.
on the way
Oh,
out.
okay.
We're fine.
Clockager is
We've been
like
walking
the
until-
like the
Ah,
arcane
okay.
stronghold where mages study and shit. Yeah. Cool. That's perfect then. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, plan. Just gonna hand this problem off to someone else.
I feel quite good about that.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Cool. Right. Okay. So the plan's to head to Clockager, is it? Do we want to? Are we stopping at the Aldernary Sovereign first?
Where?
Yes.
I think we should.
The mushroom man.
Mushroom boys.
Oh, right.
That's you, isn't it? Yeah.
I propose.
I don't know.
I propose that if, however, we may have a month or so ahead of us until the attack of Kulencrest, but every moment counts.
Thanks, Boot.
So why do not I fly ahead on Dragos to Clockager and ask them to pass on the message while you give, what's his name, little mushroom boy
Yeah.
back.
And we'll
Young
get the
Hosby can be returned
Yeah.
home.
Good idea, Gesh.
I'm having one of these, but you've got some. I've left some sand eggs that you can have.
Sure, I've got loads of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lovely. All right, that's a good. Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Okay, cool. So
I take Hosby out of my pack because he's obviously still in the little vial, and I hand him to Dorwin, hand him to you. I say, take care of this young adventurous one.
I don't need you to take care of me.
Must be
What she doesn't-
more fucking slime.
At this point, Rudy's
I'm
very interested in
invincible!
what's going on here. Alright, do you mind if I take the wee one?
Rudy, this is
you're
Hosby.
Ben.
Oh, I thought I'd send someone else here.
It's the what's the name of the race? It's the Myconid we saved from the Tlinkali.
Oh, the Myconid, I know them well, do I? I know them well. Hi there, everyone.
Hi.
Are we to take you back to your family?
It's not what I want to do, but it's what they've told me I have to do.
No,
So.
but a wee sporer like you can be out in the world.
We made a deal with your dad, and now you've made a deal with us. It's only fair, and we'll make sure you come with us.
Yeah, okay. I suppose a real adventurer would always stick to their deals.
That's right.
Make like a Lannister.
I don't get that reference.
Wait, hang on. Fuck my sister.
And you just let go and he smashes on the ground, and that's the end of Hosby.
I'm not sure how mushrooms reproduce, but you probably have.
Especially if they're a hive mind. All
I'm
up
pretty
with
sure
each
you
other.
fucked all your relatives.
Yeah. No, she says, what brings you to the Red Spore Caverns?
Oh, I'm about.
I'm about.
No, I travel these lands and just to meet little ones like you,
Oh, well, it's a pleasure.
isn't it? That's cool.
And with that, you
On my
guys.
shoulder? I don't know. We're carrying this little
It's
fucker.
a ball currently.
There's a ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a
Ball
mushroom
goo.
that got destroyed by a lightning breath and kind of got reverted into a pile of slime. A Pilana cast a healing spell on it.
And I
which
did
caused it
cure
to-
wounds on him as well.
Right, fucking hell.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't forget about me.
Mummy loves you too.
No, she doesn't. That's why you need to love me.
But through their combined healing,
Better.
it kind of develops this like harder shell basically to protect
So
it.
it's got that. All right, yeah, I've got that. That's cool.
Balanced on your shoulder.
I've got very wild hair.
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
kind of
gonna-
stuff it in there, a bit of a nest.
Yeah.
I'm a wobbly mushroom on her shoulder.
Great role playing.
Inspiration.
Inspired.
Nice, yeah. So I'll say that you guys are, able to travel through the Red Spore Caverns. You kind of, you being in a sort of naturalish environment is sort of okay for you. And are you like when you're sort of traveling around and like doing stuff like day to day? Do you like transform much or anything? Like, would you ever take on a different form, or would you just kind of like just chill as a dude and then?
So,
Are you a druid?
Remind me what you're a druid, yeah.
Baller.
Yeah.
What are you? Sorry, you're a druid. What?
Dwarf.
You're a dwarf.
Dwarf.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, I
Sorry
did
if you
forget.
couldn't tell that from me, babe. Yeah, druid dwarf. Yeah, no, happily. I think I'm still getting to grips with some of it, but.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, hunting, other activities
Yeah,
that animals
yeah,
do.
Nice. Yeah.
Can I just say that once we've decided that I was going to go ahead to Clockajaw, I will have left as soon as we made that decision.
Okay.
But before I go, I'll turn to Dorwin and ask who was the. I want to go asking for someone's counsel. So who was the mage that you spent time studying with? If you remember. Just
Allow me to cast my mind back.
It was
Havar, yes, I remember now.
I do
Havar,
not want to be met with hostility when I arrive at Clockajaw.
yes, I'm
able
sure.
to ask somebody.
I'm sure Havar would remember my unique methods of transcription. Yes, if you can contact the mages and ask for Havar, he seemed to be fairly important. I think he may well be able to get you an audience with whoever it is needs to know.
Yes, he was white on the chin, wasn't he?
Yes, very. And everywhere else.
Are you okay, Dawn?
I want to talk about it.
Is there any?
If there's anything you feel you need to confess before I leave, I am
He
here.
went right through the stone skin.
Yeah, okay, so
Okay, cool.
I'll do the recipe stuff and then
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make it clear that I'm sort of, when all this
God.
shit's going on, I'm already basically out the caverns.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, you guys make your way over to the Ordinary Sovereign, and you know, when you enter, you kind of are immediately rushed by all these various Myconid folk. Some of them small, some of them large, all of them excited to see Hosby, and you actually, despite her reservations and despite her trying to like kind of be stoic and stuff, you see that she's young and really can't contain her excitement at the fact that she's like with a load of her relatives. And
I thought it was a boy.
I thought it was a boy.
They
I thought it was
are non-binary.
Oh,
Fair enough.
then say they.
Well, no, they're he or not him. Either.
They're he/her.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Him/her.
so she's excited to meet everyone and see people are bustling around you. Saying, Hosby.
Wait,
And-
are they not? This isn't the shape that they were in when we left, right?
Hosby.
Husband, yeah.
No, yeah, he's new, but they're all
That's
very.
normal for them. It's
They're all very like they fall apart and grow
Yeah, they're
parts
constantly
and
breaking
like
bits off
Goldop
and
was like
we
a
didn't
house.
like take a child and then bring back like.
Well, sort of.
We did, but
Yeah.
it's not a
Fine,
biggie.
fine.
I don't think their form is who they are. They're like a sentience of the spores.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'm sure that for Rudy, it's quite, you know, you spent time around my kids before, it's always a nice experience.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
There's, you know, yeah, there's lots of interesting.
She immediately just like pulls out a rope. Is like, what?
Yeah.
They were like fascinated by rope last time,
Oh, right,
but we had to
yeah.
find that out.
Great.
You just
I've
know
got
it.
some in my hair.
Yeah.
Let them play with your
Yeah,
braids.
have you got kind of like matted, kind of like dready kind of thing going on? Yeah, I've seen that they like go grabbing it and like swinging it.
Dreaded and dread.
You really enjoy. And yeah, you make your way up through this slightly psychedelically coloured, quite beautiful hillside, and you as you kind of approach, you kind of have this like, you feel this like rumbling energy as you're approaching, getting towards the hilltop, and as you step into one of these kind of misshapen domey buildings, which is the sort of main structure where Gouldop is based. Do you know anything about this? Do you want me to describe some bits and bobs?
I mean,
If you've like not been,
I think I
basically.
missed this bit.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah. So Gouldop is basically he's kind of like the main spore producer. He's this kind of like house-sized, sort of semi-humanoid myconid that's kind of fused into the building, and he's just this enormous thing. And as
Produces lots of spores.
he does, he's constantly like in this room. There's like a very thick, dense, like greenish fog, which is a load of spores in here. As you kind of travel through a myconid colony, you're constantly, when you're not used to it initially, you're kind of like bombarded with like conversation and emotions and just everything that goes through a brain. And then the more you get used to it, you're able to kind of filter it out yourself.
Okay.
But you still will pick up on odd conversations, and you know, if somebody's feeling particularly joyful or particularly sad, it will make you feel the same way for a minute.
Okay.
And in this room, there's like it's like a very, very, that presence is very, very heavy. And you walk in and immediately through all your minds, it just kind of like rattles your heads. You just hear, Hosby! Come to me. And he, like, this like kind of very wide, thick hand kind of like bends down and opens up. Step forward and places one, and he says, oh, it is a great relief of my mind to know you are safe, although you take a pitiful form.
Well, that's what
Yes.
getting incinerated by a dragon will do to you.
He says, Do you say that like?
Yep. I can't not.
How did this happen, poor dear Hosby?
We were ambushed by a Bahir just near the Lake of Effervescence.
Beast with lightning breath.
Yes, it was very dangerous, we found out.
Says yes. You made it out alive? I see. In fact, you picked up an additional party member.
Yes, we managed to slay the beast,
Yes.
in fact.
You've slain the beast of lightning breath.
Oh, yes.
I was just
You see-
crying.
You see that immediately around you. These like blue spores just begin like puffing out of everyone,
All our PTSD is back. Oh, God.
and you just feel this like a immense kind of like celebration wash over you, and
Calm or fireworks? Just, you know.
And our combination.
They don't differentiate.
Yeah. And you kind of, I'll tell you what, all of you give me perception checks. Oh no, insight. Give me insights. Actually, sorry.
Insigate.
I like that you painted the tips of his wings bones.
Oh, yeah, little spiky horns.
23?
23,
16.
16.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
I'm not there.
Ah, fuck yeah. Well, really. Okay, so you two both pick up. I guess it makes sense because you're a druid and you're a psychic guy anyway. But both of you detect somewhat that Mogson are trying to like not allow this sort of be broadcasted. It's kind of like having a bit of a realization that maybe this little guy was a bit of a menace. Didn't kind of appreciate that there were other sentient creatures around that were like, it's kind of a bit of a thing. But he doesn't do anything. He's just maybe a bit slightly awkward. And he says, "Well, that's most interesting indeed. I was planning on aiding your journey should Hosby return with some of our own creations." He says, "But nonetheless, I'm sure they could find you in good stead anyway." And he kind of like you see that his fungal body kind of like ripples slightly and kind of comes down his arm, and like sort of growing out of his hand are these like four kind of like right. They're the finest thing we've ever created.
Really shit, like flesh, like soft roast.
Mushroom roast, yeah.
Like spaghetti.
Yeah. He produces these four kind of like quite sort of lignified, barky vials.
What
Lignified.
does lignified mean?
Oh, well, it is something you can do. No, lignified is
That's good.
Like lichen-y?
No.
Lignin.
So lignin is the chemical that trees put into their outer cells to make them barky. So to be lignified is to be like
Cool.
barky. Yeah.
Good to know.
And he produces these vials, and he says
These should relieve the symptoms of any such toxin you may find yourself encountering. They would have been most useful throughout the Red Spore Caverns, I imagine. They're valuable to our own. And he kind of splurges them out in front of you.
I'm going to grab one.
Sure, yeah. Nice.
I'll grab one.
How many are there? No.
4.
Yeah.
Kalana and...
Mogs and all. Yeah, flower. Oh, yeah. He says now that you've returned, Hosby safe and sound, we can continue with her training. And this Hosby says, Gouldop, I'm not actually going to stay. He says, whatever do you mean? He says, Hosby says, I've come to say goodbye, and I know in the past you've not let me leave, but this is something I have to do. And my friends will make sure that happens. Right, guys?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gildop. I know we said we'd get him back to you, and to be fair, we have, but he was doing pretty well by himself, and to get him to leave, we had to agree that we'd let him come with us.
And what of the Glencali?
Well, the last time we left them, they had a big mushroom growing out of their corpse. And I pointedly look at the ball of mush. Isn't that right, Hosby?
Hosby had them pretty firmly under his thumb.
With this ghoul doctor goes, oh, my prayers have been answered. Oh, it reminds me of my first settling here in the Red Spore Caverns. Hosby, if you feel you must be free, then, and you are capable of such things, then my suspicions are confirmed. There's no need for you to remain here. Go and spread the Myconid way wherever you feel you must. Travel with these adventurers until they allow you to aid you with your settlement. And with this, Hosby just goes, you can just, it's just emotion basically that you're able to sense from her. Didn't really even say anything.
Told you he'd be understanding, Hosby.
I thought they were. Oh, she just can't contain herself. Basically, she's just so excited. Yeah,
Jumping for joy.
very cute. Okay, nice. I guess we'll wait for James to pop up, but in the meantime, I guess you guys maybe spend a bit of, a small amount of time here, just like saying bye to everyone and making sure Hosby's good to go. Mogson all kind of chills out for a bit, and
Are there any more sort of like supply things we can grab here? Like, it's not really that kind
really.
of place.
You can get maybe grab some like rations and stuff.
Yeah.
Some like mushroomy rations, but they don't really make stuff
No.
in general.
Just bits of bark.
No grill.
Sorry.
No grill.
The grill.
They don't have a grill there.
The grill. What was the joke?
Cooking stuff. It's not a
I
joke.
didn't say cooking. Oh,
I'm saying they don't have like any cooking implements.
why are you talking about cooking?
Is that not you just about food, right?
No.
Oh,
No,
that's
she
about
said is there any
rations.
like is there any stuff, any like equipment I could take? And
Oh.
I said that's mainly
Kind of
rations.
stuff.
Oh, I thought you were
You
asking
were
about
no
food.
grill.
The most important bit.
Oh, we're traveling with that.
Never leave.
Could I have my phone? I think I ordered my dad something on Amazon. I think inevitably they can't find the
Yeah.
house and stuff.
These little noted
You've got a
things.
text, yeah. Do you wanna?
It's just come
Did
through.
he explain how it works? Like,
It's a
do we
potion.
eat
It's a
it?
vial.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just
there's liquid inside. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So.
Before or
well,
after we get both?
I guess both. Either. Whatever you want.
So we do not have that information.
No, it can literally be both. I'll say mechanically. I'll say that it's like like 8 hours of immunity or something.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so yes. While you guys are while we're waiting for James and stuff, I'll do this little thing. So Morton goes over to Rudy and says, Rudy, what exactly was? It appears people are pleased at the passing of Sparky.
Yeah, that's right. I did sense that.
Was it a selfish act of mine to keep such a beast to defend myself?
Well, it seemed to me that he may have been your only friend for many years, and I don't think anyone can blame you for that. But Sparky was just acting in his
I think
nature.
the Amazon guy is
Yes,
trying to
yes.
find the
See.
barn.
Yeah,
So
comforting words.
might
Thank
be good
you.
to walk down to
Yeah,
the
that's
front
alright.
of the house.
I try. But now that you're coming back into the world with us,
Yeah.
you'll be able to perhaps find yourself a new friend.
Yes. Well, I was actually
I'm not sure we
worried
can
about
find
that.
it.
How the world may have changed in the time that I've been gone. I'm somewhat fearful, and while I've spent the last decade and a half trying to repent for my prior life, I worry that perhaps the revelation of the world itself may be a little overwhelming.
Oh, no, do you wish to stay?
He's not
I don't
Perhaps
think I
someone
could
I'll try and
live with myself if I stayed. I think this is something I have to do. It's just the fear is very present.
Okay, yeah. So clap a hand on his shoulder and say, it's no wonder you feel that way. I can understand it, but I think you'll find when we get to the surface and we go to my people, you'll see the world hasn't changed all that much.
Right. Very well.
And remember, if you find somewhere that
I got them.
you
They're quite
feel
Sorry.
safe,
Those
I think
ones.
you've earned the right to stay there.
Do you
No,
know
not
where
those
that
ones,
is?
The other
Those are just gone.
Very well.
Can I give him your?
I will see how I feel once I'm on the
Can you talk
surface.
to him because I don't.
For
Really
now,
know
the anticipation is driving me
that
crazy.
well, to be honest. Is that right?
And,
Okay. Cool. All right.
Alright, nice, cool.
I'll text him. I'll text you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I was out of the car.
Yeah, if that's okay.
Oh,
Alright,
goodness
nice.
me. What flavour?
Don't have to do anything.
Blueberry raspberry.
Blackety black. So I'm black. I'm blackety black.
What's that from?
Jamie Foxx.
Oh, give me a minute, guy.
He walked in, it's like just black. It's fucking black. It's blackety black.
What from?
It's on Graham Norton, and he's talking about Ed Sheeran. It's well funny. Like,
Oh, he didn't he like put up Ed Sheeran?
yeah.
Like
Well,
month-
Jamie
month or
Foxx has
something.
put up a lot of people.
But didn't didn't Ed Sheeran literally live in his house or something?
Yeah, Ed Sheeran just went over to LA and just like was just fucking busking and shit, and then Jamie Foxx put him up, and then Jamie
I'll
Foxx
have to
like.
live in Jamie Foxx's house for a while.
Oh no! Like the amount of parties you hear about him hosting. He basically he brought Ed Sheeran to like a proper cultured local dive bar where it's literally just black people, and this white ginger kid comes
Oh,
in.
I think I've seen the clip.
And he's like,
actually,
oh, you walk in, it's blackity black, and there's a black man over there, and a black man over there, and they're all blackity black, and they're all playing blackity black. And it's like, is he just saying on Graham Norton in fucking London?
Yeah. I've
there was,
I wanted it for my dad. I've just actually asked my dad to give you a call. I've just texted him your number because he's going to be able to direct you a lot
What
better.
Amazon
than I am.
deliveries be like?
Mm-hmm. Especially his dad's places in the middle
Sure.
of fucking nowhere.
Alright, so you should get a call from him any second. Alright, bye for now.
Bye for now.
Well,
That's fucking horrible.
Alright, while they're doing that, shall we run through what's going on with you then, I guess?
We might as well.
Yeah. So,
Would you like another beer?
no. This is my second one, so
I like
I'll
one.
grab
Yeah.
one after this.
Blues.
Um, yeah, so you kind of, I guess you're not necessarily like gassing it, are you? Just kind of going quickly.
Can we roll for any potential trouble along the way?
Yeah, sure. yeah.
You fucking love having a hard time, don't you?
Yeah, fucking right. What is the
Oh,
point?
there is trouble.
What is the point of fucking playing if it's just easy?
Alright, hang on a minute. You might
No,
look
I
out.
can't. I'm like, Oscar, the mechanics, should we make them a little bit more difficult?
Oh, cool.
The whole
Oh,
point.
nice.
Oh, sorry, it's for you.
Yeah, cheers.
Who the fuck wants any journey to be easy? You want to work for it.
Yeah, imagine if Lord of the Rings is.
A lot of
Magic
bullshit.
Comes
Oh, mate, the siege of
Mountain
Gondor
encounters
is so
level
fucking
5
sick.
to 10.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
So they say when you're on your own.
I don't give a fuck. Okay. Oh.
I assume you don't really like ale.
I do like ale.
Oh, you can have some of this. I only brought two because I said, yeah.
Okay, so I
I'll
rolled
have
two
a little
numbers.
taster. I like to know.
This is from
know beers.
This is from Dicebox. I
Oh,
did
no way.
some work for them. They gave me a crate of
Oh,
beers.
sick.
Okay, I got one which
As
actually
well as
works
me.
really well here.
Yeah, go on.
So,
It's nice. I like
as
it.
you're kind of like, you know, flying with haste, not like completely destroying yourself,
No.
not like you're going absolutely apeshit. But yeah, you're kind of gassing over, and on your second day of travel, you think Cockadra is maybe a day or two away, maybe even less. You give me a normally I just use a passive. Oh yeah, fuck it actually. What's your passive perception? And I'm guessing you'd be probably looking out as you're flying around.
Fucking
wouldn't you?
right,
Yeah,
I would,
so
if
give
I'm
me,
on my
give me,
own.
give me an active perception.
Passive perception is
Give me-
16.
Sure.
Sorry.
Okay, fine. I mean, that beats it already, but do a roll anyway, 'cause it's cool.
15.
All right, fine. So as you're flying along, you hear a
Pennywise one day.
Mm.
as Dragos is kind of like he's got a little direction in his head and he's flying along. You hear a
loud screech from behind you, and as you turn around, you see in the distance. It looks like they're flying high above you on using the thermal currents. You see 5 giant eagles that have sighted you up as a meal. And it's initiative time, baby.
Oh, fuck's
And
sake.
why don't we have James can too when he's back? But why don't you guys play the eagles? Just so you've got something to do.
Alright.
I like being eagles.
All right, so you're an eagle. You're an eagle. James, you can be an eagle if you come up here. If not, I'll be the other. Nice. So if you just go on to
To
Google
just
and
clarify
type in-
quickly before we start, because I don't have Dorwin with me, I have all of my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
So just type in giant eagle on D&D
Yeah, I got it.
somewhere. Yeah, not too hard for you. Okay, and each of you give me initiative using the giant eagle's stat blocks, please.
What is it? Their decks.
Yep. Dex modifier.
I missed the thing. 8, please. You're not going to remember that.
What did you get, Al?
7.
Shall we do a little battle map? Just like empty one because it's the sky.
Yeah,
sure. Cool.
So battle map really sounds necessary.
Dragos.
The boy.
He's going to be on a map.
Fucking boy. He's the boy.
It's your boy. Oh, I can go
An
on
empty
to
bottle.
yeah.
What's Orin?
Orin?
The language. A-U-R-N.
I think it's of these like.
In the sky.
Is it the cow? Is it cow? No. I need to. I don't know. Give it a Google.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we got any good minis that would?
Sorry.
Do you want to use your character minis for your guys, just so we can keep track of who's who? Well, not if you're not bothered, I can just get tokens or something.
Well, I think I've got all my tokens in the bag.
Who's over just for that? Cam. Oh, cool.
Well, no, he doesn't need to be on a bottle, does he?
Yeah, I want him to be in the bottle.
Everyone's on bottles. Everyone's on bottles. And when everyone's on bottles, no one's on bottles.
Oh, a big bag of nips. A nutsack.
Yeah, fucking.
Have you seen this Cocaine Bear thing?
Cocaine bear.
It's a film about a bear that injects.
Someone
shitloads
mentioned
of
that today at
cocaine.
work.
That's potentially based on a true story.
Oh,
I'm glad it's based on something.
there you go, cool.
What's it on?
No, they're coming from behind.
I don't think it's out yet. I think it's going to be.
I don't know.
Hang on. I saw it on Twitter.
There was a.
Just use Gesh as well.
There was a
I think
bear.
they just released the
Actually, no,
trailer.
you're not allowed to.
There's only 3 of us.
You're not
No,
allowed
there's
to use
5.
Gesh.
There's only 3 of us.
There's 5. I'm going to be 2 of them.
Oh, 5 eagles.
Yeah, man.
This may have been.
Bro.
Don't
Alright.
worry, guys.
I'm killing Gash.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Right. I'll just use these tokens.
Is this the stat block for
Yeah.
You can.
The eagle
Goog.
makes 2 attacks on its beak.
Okay, so the way we're going to run this is that the whole time you guys are basically like we're moving through the air as we're going. Okay, we'll just use the same movement speeds and stuff. It's cool as fact to think that we're like rushing through the air. Okay, what were the initiatives, please?
I got 8.
12.
what's my plus modifier?
3.
3.
It's a d20.
What sort of terrain are we above on the ground right
7.
Mountain.
now? Is it evergreen trees or is it just rocks?
Well, you're like rushing through the air, so it's changing.
Yeah, but how high are we?
That's up to you. How high were you?
I'd say I'd be within the valley, so I'd be sort of like maybe sort of 300 feet off the ground.
Okay, nice, there you go. That's how high you are.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, so the
Well, hang on, let me just do the initiative in a second. Then we can,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So who was the highest?
Me?
12. So Cora, and then anyone between 10 and anyone got like
I got 7.
7. You got an 8, Fergie?
I got 8, yeah.
I got 8.
Sure. And then
I was
A number?
pulling my brain out of the
what's your
conversation.
dex modifier?
+6.
What?
+3.
No. What's your dex number?
16.
Okay. What's the Eagles? 17. So the Eagles.
Motherfucker.
So James, and then Gesh, and then this the other ones, Eagles. Okay, so
what? So you're saying yes, we're rushing through the air, but I'm up quite high, so I can see very well what's around me. What is sort of directly below me and within the next 1,000 feet? What's the terrain like? Is it evergreen forest or is it just rocks?
I see. So basically, you're above. This is a fucking shitstorm.
It's not that bad. It's alright.
Annoying me.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Silver monsters. It's better. So yeah, basically, it's kind of like there's like occasionally in the distance like mountains that are like slightly higher than you are. I mean, there's other mountains that are like lower, but kind of and like ridges and stuff. And then so around the place, there's like a couple of snow-capped peaks. But then there's also like there are tree lines which develop into evergreen trees, and occasionally you can see a small glade. There's a lot of rivers around, like kind of flowing off the mountains, kind of culminating into valleys, which you're kind of flying past as you're going along. So yeah, kind of mix of various typical mountainous habitats and features. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Roughly, in the general direction that we're flying, roughly how far away is the closest sort of thicket of any kind of like forest or wood or anything like that?
Interesting. So if you're about 300 feet above the ground,
just in because I'm obviously not just going to double back on myself. I'm going to keep going in that direction.
yeah. So you could. There's a few around. Yeah.
Okay,
you could-
fine,
you could
fine,
aim for,
okay,
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's not my go anyway. But yeah, cool. I just want to.
Before we start, I've got a question. So, so we have the same speeds, right? Just for the sake of.
You have the speed of the eagle.
Oh, sorry, but you were both going at.
Oh yeah, that's just a flavour thing. Yeah, it's nothing mechanically. Okay. And just so you know, when you fall in D&D, in one round you can fall 500 feet. Well, just so you know, if you want to get to the ground quickly. Yeah, if that's your aim.
Well, I don't want to fall to the ground, but
Well, no, but you're on a flying creature. Right?
yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're trying to think of your movement speed going down, it's
Okay.
different.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so Cora, you're up first. You're currently 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You're 30 feet away from him.
Okay. Just going in strong with a multi-attack.
Sure, so you're flying over to him?
Yeah.
Alright, so as you're kind of like rushing along, you look up, maybe say something to Dragos, and this eagle...
Dragos, mind yourself. They're here.
This one
Well, he
eagle...
already knows, but yeah.
Sure, well, yes.
Just
like to
flavour.
say anyway, yeah. This one eagle kind of like closes its wings slightly and dives down towards you and makes 2 attacks.
Oh, they're fucking
Yeah,
way. Are they
with talons
fucking
and
well
then-
high above me? Are they?
Not insanely so, but yeah, they're pretty high, yeah.
So yeah, I'd say goes for the right wing with talons.
Oh, he's going for Dragos'
Yeah.
wings. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So give me your attacks.
So 4, 9
9 to
to
hit.
hit.
I don't think that hits, right? No. And give me your other one.
Hang on, I'm not sure I'm reading this right.
So what did you roll?
So it rolled 4.
So it'd be 4 plus 5.
Yeah, so it's 9, and then it would. Oh, that's
But
just.
it didn't. That's the damage. That's
Oh.
that's an average damage if the end.
Oh, sorry, I see what it is. Okay, cool.
then-
15 to hit on the beak attack.
You want to hit Dragos?
On Dragos.
Don't hit.
Okay.
Nice. So yeah, as this eagle kind of dives down, you're like looking at them and obviously communicating directly to Dragos, and through your like shared connection, he just kind of like closes his wings and just kind of spirals for a second with you, like you have to like grasp him for a minute, and as he avoids this attack, kind of like.
But like as the eagle sort of goes off to one side, like obviously not doing any damage, Dragos just turns to the eagle, being incredibly aware of exactly where it is, and just spits a little bit of lightning in its direction.
Sure, yeah. Nice.
So it's like a fuck off.
Yeah. Like I'm an angry little dragon. Yeah, nice. Cool. Okay, next up is Ferg.
Please address me by my eagle name.
So now, sorry. Now Tide's eagle is at the same level as me or below me, because if it's
like a little bit below, maybe
nice.
like 10 feet below. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we had bottles represent.
See?
If only we had the perspex thing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'll dive towards Gesh and try and peck his nasty little head.
Can you make
Going
it?
for me.
Yeah, I'm going for you,
What's your
boy.
movement speed?
Same as everyone else's.
In flight, it's 80 foot.
80 foot. Alright, fair. Good luck.
But that we're all moving though.
And that's
no?
just a roleplay thing.
Okay, fine.
It's just like to add another dimension to the
Okay, cool.
combat.
Fine. Okay, yeah, cool.
Okay, yeah, so you can get to him then.
I'm literally flying at half your speed.
I'm a bird fan.
Fuck's sake, yeah, true. You're a fucking giant eagle.
Yeah, also, you shouldn't be able to fly by all laws of physics, so...
What?
You're like a bee, right? Yeah, I'm going to try and peck his head off.
Alright, go on then.
Get fucked, Gesh. 8 to hit.
Multi-attack?
No,
Oh, you don't want to do it?
just beak this time.
Alright, fine, fair.
I might multi. This is like a drive-by.
Sure.
You got-
I came in fast, I was like...
Oh, you only rolled a 3. Oh, fuck.
Alright, so as you go to peck, you miss, fly past him slightly, and...
And Gesh like roars at that one and is like, ah!
He's a
A little bit of fire coming out of his mouth. We will not be killed this day.
Jimothy?
Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
You can hit.
30, 40. So I'm going to fly a little bit up, gaining more height.
You're already way higher.
Oh,
You're
okay.
like 200 feet
Oh,
or so
fine.
like higher.
Well then, by the laws of sort of aerial combat, the fact that I'm like so far above should actually mean that I have advantage on this attack, because I'm going to be going so much faster than...
that is true.
I'm going to be literally going like 4 or 5 times.
I would say
So
you
surely
get
that makes it
advantage.
harder to land the hit if you're travelling at
No,
like
it means it's
massive
harder to
speeds.
evade.
No.
If you
Imagine
shut up.
Yeah, 'cause if he just goes like that, you can...
200 miles an hour, you be quiet too, everyone be
Yeah,
quiet.
you just go like that and you're
You can get
fucked.
it based on a roll, okay? So can you give me either an athletics or an acrobatics?
Ever seen a gazelle evade a cheetah? Fucking
No,
easy because he's going so
vulture.
quick.
No, when you're in the air, it's...
Like, if you're in
No,
the air,
I'm
it's a big difference.
Having said that, I am aware of your presence though. That's on
I mean,
a
sorry, I'm surely not using
No,
this.
you
This
use a
is-
giant eagle.
What am I adding?
Either strength or dex, they're both 3.
Because like think about it,
So,
something's
roll a
fucking.
D20 and
If
I'll
he's going
roll.
like 2,000-3,000 feet,
Yeah.
whatever, he's shooting down.
Yeah.
It's basically like the thing
22.
below is still.
Nice. So you are
Yeah,
able to
but if you
get
just
a
move like a
yeah,
tiny
tiny
bit, then how are you going to change
Yeah.
all that speed to go left?
Yeah,
You know,
true.
you're like basically set on that path. Like
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah,
16.
fair point.
Does a 16 hit you?
Oh wait, who?
You.
You.
Yes, it is me. Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Alright,
it wouldn't
cool.
have hit Dragos, would it?
So you've got the one attack. Do you want to do the second attack?
Sure.
They've got multi-attack, so it's completely do it.
24 to hit.
Okay, so that's
You're not using your modifiers, are you?
No.
Okay.
So that
Yeah, a plus 11.
So yeah, so that's 2 hits then. So
Yes, this eagle casts
this-
Thunderbolt.
do the damage.
1d6 plus 3 and 2d6 plus 3.
Okay, so just do 3d6 and
3d6.
add on 6.
20 points of damage.
This eagle comes down and as it does, it just kind of like collides in with you from the top and just kind of like smashes you kind of against Dragos, and you just like plummet like maybe like 100 feet or so as this eagle's kind of like got you in its grasp basically for the time being. It's now your turn.
Okay, cool.
And I grappled it. I grappled.
It's not a full grapple.
Fine. Yeah.
It's like a technical grapple,
Yeah.
but it's it's a bug.
Tackled, but not grappled.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So is he on me?
Sort of like half. He's half flying, half like attacking you.
But he's got his sort of talons on Gesh.
Half and half. Like they're on sometimes, and it like will hover a bit, and then it will kind of go in for another attack. Like you're having an aerial battle in close quarters.
Okay. Can I sort of make a point of sort of moving, sort of 5-10 feet away from?
You'd provoke an opportunity attack by moving away, or you can disengage fully and not provoke any opportunity attacks.
Yeah, alright, fuck it. I will just take my disengage action, and then can I just try and dive down as quickly as I can to the nearest thicket of trees?
Yeah, sure. So as this eagle kind of attacks you, like you get kind of scratched on the arm, and you're like kind of pissed off. I'll say that you're able to like maybe like pull out your sword and like slice at it a bit, causing it to like fly back in defense. And as you do, you just like say Dragos now, and you just dive. He just like crooks his wings and just dives down. And then right before you get into the trees, you see he just opens up his wings, and then like you see that he's kind of like flying above the literally just above the trees, like toes touching the top of them. And as he's like looking for somewhere he can get in, basically, and as the eagles are coming, like it's getting more urgent. He just suddenly kind of like sees one spot and just kind of like cocks sideways and dives down into it, and you kind of get like hit by a couple of trees and stuff. Why don't you give me an acrobatics?
Okay. 8.
Okay, so as he kind of dives through, like he's kind of like dodging through all these tree branches and stuff. One of them kind of smacks into you, and you go like falling off of him basically, and you take 2d6 damage basically as you fall about 20 feet to the ground.
Okay. 2 points damage.
Hell yeah! Nice. Yeah. So as you kind of get bashed off, you were like falling to the ground, but were kind of able to like grab onto the edge, like grab onto the tree and like slow your fall through the branches.
Somewhat, you know, with a level of sort of like composure, or whatever.
Yeah, like grace or whatever.
Yeah.
To some degree. As much as
coordination was what I was looking for.
Oh, coordination. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, as a ranger, you're kind of able to like navigate your way down, and in doing so, Dragos kind of like stopped his own fall as well within a close difference, kind of plummeting like a crashed World War II plane. I'd be fairly willing to say that the eagles aren't going to come into the forest after you. I don't think that makes much sense. I think
especially how tall are the trees?
Oh, they're big old trees.
Like 50, 60 feet?
Yeah,
they're not going to bother if it's dark and dingy.
No, and they're fucking massive. So yeah, I'll say you've managed to like avoid them basically.
Cool.
Let's go.
Fucking one hit, 20 damage. I was considering flying higher to try and get above them to try and fight them, but then after 20 damage from the first one, I was like, fuck that. Fuck that, I'm on my own.
Yeah.
God, imagine if we'd all played the because I was going last, I was planning it all thing. I was like, I'm not going to say. He's going to be so excited that everyone gets advantage.
Imagine if Gez just died.
I know.
We just never heard what happened to me though.
Yeah, because if you got put on 0 hit points, you'd be fully reliant on your death saves. So you'd have to get your death saves. Otherwise,
But then even then, what would stop the eagles from just eating me?
Well, I guess you'd be on the ground, wouldn't you?
What? Not in a forest though, unless I've aimed for it. And even then.
Well, it's quite a lot. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to do a drill roll, I guess, with me. See if you're in the forest or not.
Oh, I got to go for a wazza.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So yeah, we'll do Ali. So Ali's going to Cockadrill. Meanwhile, you guys are leaving the Red Spore Caverns, and heading to Foodland Press. Is that right? That's your plan?
No, we're going to Clockadrill.
Yeah.
You're going to Cockadrill also.
Yeah.
No, there's no point you guys going to Clockadrill.
Well, it's on the way, isn't it?
Not.
Are we doing something with the
and we
horn?
can get really fast mounts if we go to
We don't need to
Clockadrill.
do something with the horn.
Yeah, that's true. You're not.
Oh, we don't need to do something with the horn yet.
Or actually,
True.
Pilana has got a mount. I've got a goat, and I'm guessing that Rudy has got a
She is.
some
she
tricks
is a
up her
mount.
sleeves. Yeah, she is a mount.
I can ride Rudy.
What?
You can only do it for like an hour, like a couple hours a day, can't you?
No, it's 8 hours a day.
Really?
Wait, hang on.
I didn't think
That was
you
very low, really. Really?
Really, Rudy?
Really, Rudy? Rudy,
Oh, 40
really?
hours.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I guess it does kind of make sense to go to Clogger. It's like
No.
It's kind of on.
You can do it
zombie.
twice for a short rest. So 6 hours.
Okay, that's
And then
pretty
a short
much a full
rest.
day. Given 8 hours is the metric they use for travel.
I can fly the other 3.
In fact, you could make both of you fly.
True.
You just like morph into different modes of transport. Just like go. Yeah, so Gesh, imagine you now in a dark, deep forest.
You know the montage of when someone's on the phone for ages and they're like in different positions all the time. It's like us for like carrying each other in different ways, like flying. Sorry.
Progressively weird animals.
Like running midair.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. So if we're riding rather than walking,
Sorry, what did you guys decide while I was on a piss?
go to Clogger, I think.
Yes.
But we
Well,
can get there quickly.
no, if we all can fly, and if we all have mounts and we don't need to go straight to Crocodile, we can go straight to. But we've got a month, so whichever one we choose, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I will have conveyed
Yeah.
that I do not intend to stay long in Clogger.
Oh, right, okay.
We'll fly there, inform the powers that need to be informed, and then
Okay.
travel
and
to
then
Kulan
you'll-
Crest.
Yeah. Okay.
And then fucking hang out with Poirus before they all die.
Okay, cool.
Constantly, Gesh is constantly mumbling to himself about how he feels that Enoch is overlooking the fact that everybody in Kulan Crest is probably just going to get fucking wiped out. With the power of the cult of Krakonis. The least we can do is warn them. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we don't think powerful people, but
I sort of missed the end of you fuck off from the Eagles.
I dived into a very thick and overgrown forest to hide.
You entered the bush.
I have.
give me a survival check, baby.
Did you survive this crash landing?
Oh no, that's already done.
Oh, okay, cool.
Let me see what
Just
this.
2 points of damage.
Oh, rolling that one.
Oh. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Oh, nat 20.
Hey. Okay. Confusing way to the end.
Yeah. Do I get an inspiration point for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I re-rolled the nat 20. Okay, so yeah, you find that being in this woodland is, you know, you're in mountainous terrain, but it's kind of more woodland terrain, so you're kind of like a little bit more lost here. And you just find that throughout your next couple of days of travel, I'll say that you'll probably spend a day or two like avoiding the eagles.
Yeah. So I was going to say sort of at least this day of daylight.
Yeah.
I'll make a point of staying within the woods.
Sure.
But obviously, being somewhat of a keen navigator, I'll know the general direction to head in.
Yeah, you can use environmental clues and whatnot.
Like sun and stuff.
Yeah. And so you find that.
While I'm here, please may I cast locate plants or animals?
What are you looking for?
Like anything and everything. I don't know.
Well, I think you've got to.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, sure.
I know.
Oh no.
Should I get
Actually,
a
no.
nice one out of the car?
I don't know if you can be asked, mate. Like,
Sure.
That would be pretty pain. While we're doing this.
Alright. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'd- yeah.
While he's searching for herbs.
No one wants to use my leaky disgusting.
I want the leaky
Actually, please
disgusting.
Oh, I miss Leaky.
Oh, me
Leaky.
too.
Would this be woodland terrain or mountain terrain?
This is woodland terrain.
Oh, actually, I left my notes.
Leaky was pretty lit.
Thinking so, the thinking machine.
Although I do like Esmeralda. Keylord.
Yeah.
Guess
We need to
what?
get the others involved in that.
Guess what? I've completely forgotten how we go about finding plants.
Well, so you can just try and find them yourself, but if you want to use locate plants, you can pick a specific plant that you think you might find, and I'll do a roll based on its rarity.
Okay, well, I am going to attempt to search for wisp stalks.
Okay,
And
sure.
it's better to search for them at night, so that works as well.
Right, so I'll do it with
Long
advantage.
Okay.
And
Doing any long
what level of rarity are they?
Pretty much.
I
Yeah.
think they're like
Um,
extremely rare. They're like the
To like
highest
change
level.
what spells you have prepared.
Very
yeah,
rare.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the
I
highest?
say long rest. I think.
It is.
Well, actually, I
You've
think
got,
it
you've
might
got
just be.
common, uncommon, rare, and then very rare.
I think it might just be like an hour of time dedicated to it.
Is
You
it
might be
around
able to
that?
like do it
Okay,
during a shot. I
alright,
think.
sorry.
I thought we said we were okay.
But
yeah,
there might be a
yeah,
limit
fair.
per day. Let me check with Bosch. Bosch, changing my prepared spells, or one's prepared spells, is that just you got to spend an hour doing it, or is it long rest? Can you remember?
It's different for different ones. If you look on the normal wizard or druid, I think for druid it's long rest.
Okay.
But if you just look at the normal wizard character sheet, it will say in the spell section. if you
Below?
control F,
Maybe I'm just
prepare
shit.
spells.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, do you want to do like just a regular search as well? We'll say that because you've got the spell, you can do both because it's kind of more fun.
Yeah,
You get
okay,
random,
so-
random one, you get a random thing you might not expect. So you just do a survival and try and get over a 15. I think.
I swear we've done it differently every time.
Yeah. Let's do this for now. We can.
I was gonna say it tasted nicer than normal.
And write it down.
And write it down.
But for
Yeah.
now, let's aim for a 15 survival check.
Okay. 21.
Nice. Cool. And now give me a 2d.
It's 2d6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, didn't you roll to see how many you find first?
I thought we rolled to.
Oh no,
see
it's just
what
one
it
each,
was
it's
that
one
I
each.
find.
It's just in the past. It's when we've done multiple days. we've
Yeah.
done multiple. So yeah. So what's your 2d6 result?
3.
So
Cool. So what's
if you
the
change your
range?
list of prepared spells when you finish a long rest,
Hmm.
preparing a new list
Nightshade
requires
berries.
time spent in
Nice.
prayer
So-
and meditation, 1 minute per spell level for each
I do
spell.
like this little homebrew guide, and
Oh,
I
yours
keep
is
saying,
complicated.
you know
No,
what?
this is yours. I think it's the same.
Mine
I
is
think it's the same as
Hey
mine.
Siri, remind me tomorrow morning at
But-
10 a.m. to
but
read
like-
through the herbalism guide.
I think those few minutes of prayer can be included in the long rest,
Morning break.
or maybe it means finish a long rest and then at any point in the day you can spend, you know,
Okay,
So once
so
you have a
your
long
good
rest,
phone is
then
so
you
sick,
can.
isn't it?
seconds.
Once you've had a
So
long
in
rest, then
saying
you
that,
can.
it's taken a
Then
few
you
Well,
have to spend-
Or
so,
maybe it is included in the long
nightshade
rest. I don't know.
berries, these
I've always
light
just done it as long
blue
rest.
berries
Yeah.
can be
I'll just
found-
change it.
Yeah.
Please try again.
Nice.
Change it when.
Hey Siri, remind me tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to read through the herbalism guide.
Okay, your reminder is set for tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
Okay. Nightshade berries. These light blue berries can be found in small clumped packs among small brushes in lush environments. They have been safely ingested and are often eaten by wild animals for their sweet but tangy flavour. A skilled herbalist can enhance the berries' natural ability to affect a person's body. So a nightshade berry. The oil of slipperiness.
Oh, cool.
The oil of slipperiness.
Nice. That's a specific item. I think it can maybe cast the grease spell.
Is that like what happened to Lip 2 in our Unclosed Tomb?
No, that was the grease spell. This is the sticky black unguent.
Unctuous is like
Like an oil.
Oh, like non
viscous.
unviscous. Or whatever. Viscous is slippery and slimy, isn't it? And
Yeah.
Vaseline is unguent.
What is?
Vaseline.
It's thick and heavy in the container, but it flows quickly when poured. The oil can cover
It's
a
like the
medium or small
moisturiser I'm
creature,
using on my tattoo at the moment.
along with the equipment wearing
They're quite thick.
or
They're
carrying.
greasy.
It's like Vaseline.
And he's not listening to the potion that you can make. So you can cover a creature in this oil. It takes 10 minutes to cover them, and they gain the effects of the freedom of movement spell for 8 hours. Alternatively, the oil can be poured on the ground, where it covers a 10-foot square, duplicating the grease spell for 8 hours. So you can either grease or freedom of movement.
Oh, you could do the sliding entrance.
Yeah, and just go forever. Freedom of movement. You touch one creature for the duration. The target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain. Of course, being extremely greasy makes you very unaffected by difficult terrain. And spells and other magical effects that you can't have your speed reduced, nor can the target be paralysed or restrained. Cool.
Surely it would be.
And you can also automatically escape from non-magical restraints such as manacles or grapples. And also,
could have done with that in the air.
This is cool. Being underwater imposes no penalties on the target's movement or attacks. You're just so dynamic.
The water just flows past.
Hydrodynamic, is that a word?
Can be. It is now.
I mean, like, as opposed to aerodynamic.
I think aerodynamic's used for water too, but maybe I'm
just fluids maybe.
It must be different though.
Aero or submarine aerodynamic.
Oh, hydrodynamics is a thing.
Hell yeah!
Nice. That's cool.
Anyway, so yeah, nice, cool. So you can make that maybe or destroy it.
So on Gesh's quest of vital importance, he stopped to pick up.
I'm hiding from these fucking eagles.
Yeah. Shall we just skip ahead to Clockager?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool.
I snap on my dark vision goggles and I make my way in the darkness because I know that eagles go to their nests at night.
Nice.
And Dragos and I, when it's truly night, we take to the air and we make our way.
Lovely, cool. Yeah, so you are able to travel the rest of the distance to Clockager. You see the watchtower in the distance. As soon as you land, you're greeted by the second you touch down.
What was his name? What was his name?
Khazal. The second you touch down in Balfadek, can you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Is my laptop table in your room, Morrow?
Yeah, it is.
15.
15. Okay, so you find that as you're flying down, before you actually touch the ground, you see that there's there's like a group of mages that are looking up to the sky.
Can I say that I will have purposely grounded several hundred feet before getting to the gate.
Sure. Okay, so you find that.
So I am very vulnerable.
I'll say that as you do, I'll say you land down there, but there are a group of mages that have come over, and as you're walking towards them to perhaps say something, one of them raises his hand forward and does a small gesture, and you're just frozen in time basically for a moment, and you just hear a voice in your head. One of them says, "What brings the rider of a dragon? What brings the rider of a dragon mount to Clockager?"
I seek the council of Hadar.
Do you mean Havar?
No, I seek the council of Hadar.
Whoever.
Whoever.
I don't really care. Some counsel, please.
He says, and with what business do you seek Havar?
Myself and the rest of my party travelled through here some weeks ago, and we need to get an urgent message to further provinces of Eastbourne and Kulan Cress.
You see at this point, they're kind of maybe 100 feet away or so. You see one of them from where you're. Give me an insight check.
Okay. 16.
Nudge
16.
that camera
So you see one of the guys kind of looks at you, and you think you recognise him from the bar, and he seems to recognise you as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Turns to this head individual and says something to him. You can't hear from where you are. With that, this spell on you is kind of immediately released. And have you is Dragos? Have you desummoned him, or is he?
No. He's right next to me. Yeah.
So that he was frozen too, and he kind of stops, and you see that he's slightly annoyed, maybe.
Yeah, fine.
Being
but I'll put my hand on his head and I'll say, calm.
With that, they approach and they say.
And I approach them as well. I'll
Sure.
walk up towards them. I'll say that they stay there and I'll actually approach towards Clockager.
Sure.
He says, I apologize for the rudeness. I'm sure you can imagine that we can't be too careful here.
Absolutely, you only seek to defend your stronghold.
I'm glad you see it that way. My name's Veth. Now I'll take you to Havar and see if we can't help you here. And with that,
I bow and we go on.
They lead you to Havar's office, and as you go in, you walk in. They do like a introduction, briefly explain the situation. Then he allows you to come in, and they say, you see Havar's kind of sat there with his pipe, kind of like sat down on his chair where he's previously scribing things down into one of these great notebooks that he has. And he turns and he says, I remember you, friend of Dorwyn's, didn't you?
Indeed, Gesh Goldskin. And I take a bow.
He says,
Sorry.
yes, I'm not one to forget a dragonborn passing through Clockajur. Now, what is it that I can help you with?
Well, I must say I've had somewhat of a stressful journey. May I also smoke my pipe with you?
Be my guest.
May I have some pipe weed?
He kind of like gives like quite a friendly smile and reaches into this. What he's got, his desk has like he's got like loads of drawers of varying size. And he reaches down and pulls one out, and it's just stocked with this incredibly like fresh looking pipe weed. And he like pulls out.
What's it smell like?
It's got like a very
weedy.
It's got like an incredibly rich, like earthy smell. But you can also smell that it's. I'll tell you what, the perception.
10.
10. Okay. So you can smell these sort of spices in it that are kind of slightly exotic to your nose, and you have not quite recognised them. But the smell is incredibly potent, as you've noticed. Are a lot of dwarven consumables. They tend to be rather potent.
Rather strong indeed.
So he gives you some of this pipe weed, and you kind of ignite, or maybe you ignite it. With
I'll do that myself. He might gesture too, and I say thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll go like that, and I'll just breathe on it slightly and smoke it. And it fucks me up for a minute.
You kind of feel your body immediately relax somewhat, but the sort of spiciness of it does tickle your nostrils and your airways.
Okay.
And he says,
and I cough a little bit and splutter a few flames as well by accident. maybe just singe the corners of some of the scrolls on his desk by accident because I'm coughing so much.
Good job, he probably knows mending. He chuckles slightly and says, so, what brings you this way without my little friend?
So, your little friend is here safe and sound with the rest of my party. He sends his tidings. I asked your council specifically to just have a familiar face welcome me into Clockajor. However, I'm not sure that you are the man to maybe pass on a message. You could maybe point me in the direction of someone else here that might be able to help us send urgent warning to Kulencrest of imminent invasion.
Invasion? From what force, might I ask?
The cult of Croconus are after us. They seek to reincarnate. What's his name? Krojatek.
He says, I believe you didn't talk about the cult with him, did you? Or did you?
Havar?
No, I didn't say.
No,
He says,
we didn't get into that too much.
Cult of Croconus, they thought they were nothing more than a rumour, a myth.
I must say that is not quite the case, and they are very much alive. They are building in strength, and they are mounting an attack on Kulencrest. I come to you in hope that you will be able to send a message much faster than me and myself and my steed could fly to warn them.
Why, of course. Would you? He basically asked you to talk him through everything because he doesn't want to send.
Yeah. So being a province of Eastbourne and stuff like, and with this, I've kind of made the judgment call that with this about to become such a massive, like sort of public event in a way that it's going to be very common knowledge of what's about to come to pass. I don't explain necessarily all of our involvement, but I explain that
you've been to this temple and recovered a book and
that we might have and they're after us because of our sort of our path that we've chosen to take. And yeah, just sort of been very honest about the whole thing and explained exactly. And I'll name dropped Porous Crest and stuff to like give some sort of evidence of honesty, and then ask him to sort of help.
He says, right, I wouldn't have thought such an unassuming gang of individuals passing through Clockager would have had quite such a vital quest. I'll inform High Mage Aradex immediately. Welsh there.
Alright.
Now, so you say that you what's Scottish like? I'm from Scotland. If I'm Scottish, I speak like this. You say that you have become close acquaintances with Master Cress.
Indeed, the Crifton Academy was very much welcomed me and others in my party into their ranks. They have been very good to us down in the Nundek fields, and we owe them at this at the very least to inform them of the dangers heading to their door.
He says, right, well, acting on behalf of the guild, I will suggest that you would have seen that the whole time you were talking, by the way.
I'll brandish the crest as well on my armour,
sure.
you can. I won't necessarily quote it, but I'll sort of open my cloak so you can see it.
He says, as he's the whole time you were talking, you see that he was writing the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He says, right, well, if you would take a moment to read over my message here and make sure that I'm not missing anything out important, and with that, I'll go and speak with the High Mage and bring him to your presence immediately. And he kind of leaves you in this room to like read through this like maybe 2 pages of content.
Cool.
He's going to be delivering throughout the Eastbourne.
And just as he gets up, I say, may I have 1 more pipe's worth of your pipe weed?
Says, you've done well, lad. Help yourself.
He comes back in and I'm just fucked up, just like sitting there.
His shit's just everywhere, like eating all his food. So, yeah, nice. And so, in the time,
can you grab me a beer, please, James?
In the time it takes you to read through this stuff, you see that he's basically like perfectly.
I'm right, thanks.
He's managed to like very concisely summarise everything that you said and like all the bits you said, everything important he's managed to include basically. And once you've kind of checked it over, you see that Khazal kind of comes back in with this elven fellow who's
elven. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Khazal's an old boy bearded dwarf, isn't he? Cool.
So you see that this elf is very much a rarity. You see this is a high elf.
This is the archmage of Clockager.
Yeah. This is a high elf who basically is like just fully tricked out in all the broken mage shit you can be.
Is he like gilded in gold?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit?
he looks absolutely pimping. And you see that he's just like covered in all of these chains that are like wrapped around his arms and around his body, and the chains themselves are like made of very fine silver and just covered in the most like eloquent arcane runes. I'm just going to tell you because you don't even know if like Dawn was there, but that's basically his spell book. Are these chains that he's adorned himself with. This is where he records and stores his information for his favourite spells and that kind of thing.
That's very cool.
And he sort of says, Havar here tells me that you has told me all about the imminent threat to Kulin Cress. I'm sure you very much understand the severity of the danger here. I can't allow this information to pass throughout the lands without being more certain of its truth. If you wouldn't mind, I would very much like to probe within your mind to detect whether the story is true.
And before he's necessarily even opened his mouth to speak to me, as he walks in, I sort of chuckle to myself, very well aware that everything I say he's going to also be able to hear. I sort of chuckle to myself when I say, if only Dorwin were here now to meet you. Yes, well, I understand that you cannot be sending such messages without having some evidence. But being honest with you, Archmage, there are some secrets which I hope to keep as my own. I do not wish to share. I am aware of your power and your ability, but I do not wish to share a lot of things that I hold within my mind with you.
He says, I'll do my best to keep it as relevant as possible. Although you have no reason, you can trust me. And I'm sure that should I accidentally spill upon some of your secrets, I don't doubt it would be worth it if the threat that you pertain to is as real as you state. Dragos is in the cupboard eating shit.
Yeah.
Eating biscuits.
You must understand it will make me feel uncomfortable, so I must smoke some more pipeweed while you I do not enjoy having my mind probed as done by one of our party on a regular basis. It makes me very uncomfortable, but this is for the greater good, so do as you will. And I sit down and I breathe on a freshly packed pipe, take a big old inhale, and I say, take the information you require.
He says, I'll try to make it as painless as possible. And you feel like this, it feels almost like a little nick on your forehead almost. There's nothing physical actually happens, but it's what it feels like, a little nick.
Like sort of piercing the centre of my forehead, sort of.
Yeah, he just kind of like reaches out with his hand. And
does he touch me or not?
He doesn't physically touch you, no. And you just feel this sort of like silvery sort of thorned plant almost, like roots through your mind and your memories, like pulling various things out relevant. You find that as soon as there's something irrelevant, he kind of senses that you try to put up some kind of wall there, and he will avoid and that kind of thing. Occasionally he'll pry a little bit more, spitting out the occasional thing here and there, but you can tell that he's trying to be polite as possible, I guess. Once he's able to confirm everything you say, he says...
Can we say that he accidentally finds out about Mogsanor? Without me wanting him to, he probes and he finds out about Mogsanor.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll say that he initially, when he removes... so, does Gesh know whether he's stumbled upon this or not, do you think?
I don't know, you tell me.
Well, I'll tell you what, do an intelligence check. Just a normal
Me, intelligent. 14.
I'll tell you, just don't know, basically. But either way, once he removes himself, he doesn't seem to say anything about it. And he says, right, this is most urgent indeed. Come with me. He says, thank you very much, Havar, and leaves very swiftly.
And I like turn around like squinty-eyed looking at Havar and I say, thanks, Havar. Like walk out with the Archmage.
Havar just kind of like, you see he chuckles slightly, but he knows that like the imminent threat and everything
the importance
is
of the
dampening
situation
slightly. Havar...
I say thank you for receiving me to him.
And he kind of the mage, he leads you into the sort of main tower of Clockajur, where this great gem is, and
you see that when you step inside it, it's very.
We've not been there yet.
You've not been in it.
Okay.
It's very much a TARDIS situation. Inside the tower, there's just massive halls and like rooms all over the place, basically. And he's kind of like walking you around, and you see that like a lot of mages who are wearing like these various coloured robes which you haven't seen outside of the tower. Are all kind of like looking on. You see that there's pedestals with these various artifacts enclosed in glass cases. You know, one of them's like this metal gauntlet with these claws. And you see this vase which kind of like whispers to you as you go near it, and all this kind of stuff. There's all very weird things in here.
Because I'm ever so slightly high, but understanding the severity of the situation, I don't act like silly, but I sort of, because I'm with the Archmage, I sort of puff out my chest a little bit, and I like walk with him as if to like
keep your crest.
Keep my crest like
yeah.
brandished, but like to sort of show off that I'm with the Archmage.
Yeah.
However confused they may look seeing me, it doesn't matter because I'm with the Archmage.
He leads you over to this archway, which doesn't appear to. It looks like you can just it's basically just like kind of like a foggy mirror that fills the archway, and either side of it there's these two dwarven mages with these spell books which are completely made of metal, like these iron spell books, and they're just tricked out in like paladin armor. As they're like walking forward, they see the Archmage coming, like step aside, and the Archmage just like without even raising a hand, this hazy mirror just disappears, and you go into this room and you just see this large stone circle, and he says, "Stand in the center here. I'll be sending you
Is
to."
Dragos with me? Is Dragos allowed with me?
Yeah. Dragos
Okay, cool.
He says, stand in the center here. You'll be sent immediately to Coolin Cress. And as you kind of step forward, you see that the various mages around like begin to like make these various gestures, and this blue light kind of forms.
Yeah, like
around the circle.
Dragos is like sniffing around and looking around, and I sort of beckon him over at the last possible chance, and like just to like sort of grab my. I sort of put my arm around Dragos' neck and just hold him very steadily to me.
I would say that when this is happening, it very much reminds you of what it looked like when Elixir disappeared.
What, when the drow like just fucking teleported?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like the same spell basically. You completely disappear, and the next moment you're kind of in the same looking stone circle, and you're just in basically this like stony dungeon looking room, and around you there's various guards there's these various guards around, and they're all donned in the like Coolin Crest armor. Anyway, we'll go back to the other guys.
Go.
We'll say that you're like in Coolin Crest now. So you guys have left the Red Spore Caverns, and what was your movement plan?
Well, now I think we should go to Clockage, but I'm not sure we decided to.
Yeah, bitch!
We had agreed to go to
Clockage.
Coolin Cress.
Yeah, but as far like steeds wise.
To get because we recommended.
We were gonna.
Yeah.
Especially now with my message going ahead, it will certainly work in your stead.
Yeah. So why don't we? If you're going to Clockage, we could just like kind of say that like four or 5 days pass or so, and we can pop you into Coolin Quest 2. At which point Gash has spoken to people, but we can kind of like.
For the sake of
the game.
Yeah.
If there wasn't
Cool.
Unless there's anything you guys specifically wanted to do in Clockage.
anything you want us to do as well?
I don't mind sitting if you want to roleplay that shit.
Not massively.
No, I don't think.
No. I mean, we wanted to end up in Coolin Crest, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the plan was to go to Clockage to get steeds anyway, so we'd say probably once you arrive, Havar would probably be like,
Oh, you guys, eh?
yeah, like, well done. Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
You roll with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys go.
Would the Archmage entertain them, or would like some subordinates?
Probably not. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait, I do have to go in about half an hour.
That's fine. Yeah, sure. So we'll say that you. well, I'll do like a fun little thing where basically you guys have arrived in Coolin Crest through this teleportation circle, which you would be Dorwin. Would be worth you memorising this shape, just the same way that you memorised the
other one.
Yeah. And also you now realise that in fact, so the one in Coolin Crest is unfamiliar, but the one in Clockager is exactly the same as that piece of parchment that Havar gave to you when you left Clockager.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that? Wait, what?
He basically gave Dorwin this piece of parchment with all these like runes and symbols on and stuff, and he said you'll like know what this is when you are ready to know what it is, basically. And now you've seen its teleportation stuff, you see that it's the same runes are scattered all over it.
I don't remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah, you were trading shit for like days.
I remember he showed me his book and I read the stone thing.
Yeah, and then when you were leaving,
Gave
so
me a little
I initially had a
shake.
plan that his little subordinate was going to come and send you, but then you ended up going back to Havar for some reason anyway, and so he just gave it to you then. But yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, and so with that, you're now in Coolin Crest. So you guys arrive. Guards are there. They kind of like they escort you out, and you see that now. Let me just remind myself of the map of Coolin Crest. Just hold on.
Back in the ends.
Yeah. Where you ended up coming out of, and where you guys are now coming out of, is the main fortress itself, where the king lives and all that stuff.
Crest Manor.
Yeah. Crest Manor. Yeah.
And is that where what's her name had her office?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Where now had her office.
For now.
And as you kind of step out of the fortress.
Trudy didn't know that though.
Oh, that's true. Who are we?
Where are we?
Where are we, rather?
You see that the whole.
Just a lightweight.
The whole town is like suddenly, it's completely different. There's no civilians around. There's like there's fuckloads of heavily armored dwarves. There's loads of army men from Eastbourne. They're all just like they're setting up like defences, and there's mages like enhancing the fortress walls.
Oh god! Oh
Could I say that that Gesh may have taken on quite a sort of a role of responsibility in helping, like working alongside Poirus Crest.
Yeah, for sure. I'll discuss that in a moment. Yeah, so you see that there's like around the edges of the town. There's mages all over the place that are like doing these various arcane rituals, and you see that these kind of like semi-ethereal shields are kind of growing around important buildings and around the walls of the town and everything. They're basically like supplying the place as much as they can. Any buildings that were like particularly like made of stone or with any particularly strong foundations, particularly on the watchtowers around the walls themselves, they've had time to begin the construction and installation of these like ballistas and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, everything's kind of gone into fifth gear.
And in terms of time, so
how long's it been?
It's been about a week since we found everything out.
So you travel. So you found out about Mogsanor. It took a week to travel through Redspool Caverns. It took about a week. Like you say, you were moving quickly. It took about half a week to get to Clockager. You were teleported immediately. So yeah, it's been about
10 days.
Half a week since you were here, and they've already been starting this stuff. You see that any people that are left around are like. Oh, that's one I started painting ages ago, but it was I had really wet shit.
Yeah.
Get the Stormcast Eternals out.
Can I say sorry to like hog the moment? Can I say like I would envision that the only sort of training or any contribution that I feel Gesh would be able to contribute, I might have like say maybe some of the junior soldiers in the front gardens of the Crifton Academy, like practicing some archery, in like on some targets and stuff. And I'm like giving a class to say maybe like a dozen or so dozen or so quite junior soldiers and giving them all like tips and tricks of how to properly like holster an arrow and also unholster an arrow and stuff.
So what
We
I'd
found
say
our combat
through
with dragons.
in this time
Fucking
period,
plasma
every
gun.
evening you're probably sharing a drink with Poirus and like and probably like discussing everything that you need to and everything, going over the day and all that kind of thing. And in this time you've learned
How was
a
your
bit
day?
about the nature of these kind of battles and things, and the way that they're structured is that there'll be these regiments of I don't know if that's the right word, but there'll be like these regiments of maybe 20 to 50 soldiers in a certain thing, like maybe archers or infantrymen or cavalry or whatever, and they'll always have at least one or two associated mages which will be protecting them from magical attacks. And then if the mages are taken out, they become immediately susceptible to magical attacks.
Fine. Yeah.
So that's like the way that these things work, is that mages are always the key attack focus in a battle, because it means that you can wipe out huge sections of the army quickly. If
You ever read the book of Aragon?
No.
That's my inspiration. Yeah.
No.
In that it's a bit more deep, where like because in this it's just counter spells and stuff, but in Aragon it's like they're connected to everyone's mind.
Life force, and you can like search out someone's life and just turn it off as a mage.
So the way they do it in Aragon is basically the more energy it takes for a spell to occur, the more energy it takes from your body. So if you want to kill 100 people at once, if a mage has learned some level of anatomy, you can just like fucking pinch their brainstem basically, and that's just like, there'll be like a whole group of armies, and there'll be like one. The way it is in Aragon, it's so dope because they'll do like a mental battle with a mage, and if they win, 100 guys just go boom.
What's the point of them even being there then?
The army men.
The army men.
To kill the other army men.
Because the mages are very vulnerable to physical attack.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So based on that mechanic, I will have like in the evenings. Yes, in the evenings, I will have spent a lot of time with Poirus, but also saying it's been like 4 days maybe between me arriving and them coming. On at least one of those evenings, I will have made a point of not just spending the evening with Poirus. I would have maybe been in the inn or in the barracks where the soldiers might choose to drink with Poirus, and sort of like really gas up and say how powerful Dorwin is and how much they should look forward to anticipate his arrival to be able to bolster and aid the defences of
you notice as well as whenever there's like a
and explaining that like he's a deep gnome, he's not like a regular like man or and just really sort of saying how he's an incredibly powerful mage.
You see as well.
Did you hear any of that?
Well,
I'm just trying to make myself look good as well.
Yeah, I got strong, powerful mage mates too. It's nothing. It ain't a thing.
As well, I'll say that when you guys arrive, you see all the stuff going on. You can, as you walk over into the central district, there's like a lot of stuff going on to look at. One of them you can see over in the front gardens of Crifton Academy. You can see Gesh going through archery drills with a load of archers, splitting their arrows when they land and all that kind of stuff. You can hear you can see they've set up like various little smithing areas and stuff where like additional weapons are being crafted and arrowheads are being forged and all that kind of thing. In the centre as well, you see that Vinar is stood with this gnomish fellow. Who's wearing these like yellow robes, and he's kind of got this long white hair and that's like kind of like trailing down his face, but he's got otherwise a clean shaven face and a bit of a bald spot on top of his head, and he's like saying stuff in gnomish, which Vinar is then translating to these groups of mages which are like sat around like listening as they're discussing tactics and what they need to do and briefings for the day. So you guys are kind of thrust into this, and
I can understand gnomish.
Sure, I mean you're in these guys.
They're in the town square, yeah.
But I mean, Vinar's translating anyway. So.
Regiments.
Nice, cool. Yeah, we'll do each of them as like 50 guys or something. I don't know. Okay, cool. I think it might be good to like do like a bit of role playing stuff, and in terms of depending on what you guys plan to do next. If you want to stick around for the battle here, I think we should wait till the next session, do and do a big proper thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we could do some role playing bits. if anyone's interested in stuff, I'd say Montanor's probably pretty shocked. Yeah.
Can I? Yeah. So I'll go through the I'll go through the interaction of seeing you guys arrive and like say, you know, you guys would they come out of like the Crest Manor dungeon or something?
Yes,
like
they're
that?
heading into the old district. You'd be in the.
I'll be on the other
scene,
side of the square, and like I'll spot them and I'll sort of gesture to everybody to carry on training, and I'll sort of rush over and say, "Oh, we've eagerly awaited your arrival. As you can see, the preparations have begun. The siege is imminent."
Yes, it certainly looks like you've kicked everyone into gear. Good job sending the message. They weren't dubious.
Well, the Archmage of Clockajaw certainly aided me in delivering the message to what's the leader of Cool Crest? You got Poirus is the militarist. What's the actual leader?
No, just quickly check.
The mad guy.
Yeah, I've got it.
Is he?
Fannel Crest.
Is Fannel at all making an appearance?
So you
brandishing any armor or anything?
I'd say what you would know from having been here for a bit is that he is very, very much involved, but almost entirely like tactically inside the castle, organising with generals, meeting with other leaders from cities from throughout Eastbourne Province.
Has he been doing any kind of any sort of combat training himself?
He doesn't really need to.
Motherfucker's too sick.
Yeah, he's kind of dope. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, you'd say that you've maybe had like the occasional interaction with him, sat in on one or two meetings, and you see that all of the, you kind of get the impression that the stagnation wasn't aiding his madness, and now he's kind of got this purpose. He seemed a lot more like with it, but you can still see these like his eyes are just wild.
Yeah.
You just see there's still this like slight freakiness about him, which is like unsettling.
When you guys are all, I'll sort of turn to Dorwin. I'll say I've told many stories of your power to the soldiers of this town.
Oh.
And
sorry. Did we activate the?
Oh fuck! Oh.
No, we're gonna do that like just before they came to split the forces.
I've told the soldiers of this town of your powers as a mage. It would certainly aid morale and boosting the levels of camaraderie between the troops if you could put on displays here and there of your abilities.
Yes, I'll do my best.
I know you like to hide in the shadows, but at this moment in time, with what's about to befall, you must show off your skill.
Very well, I'll think where I can.
It's at this point that Vinar seems to have kind of wrapped up one of their meetings and has come over, and
are all the soldiers are they all dressed in the same sort of colour? Have they all got a uniform?
Yeah, they're all wearing like the province of each. So they're it's mostly reds that they're wearing. So they'll have like red like gambesons and that kind of thing. Most of them are wearing kind of like infantryman armour, which would consist of chainmail and heavy like thick padded cloaks and leathers. And then occasionally you see, well not occasionally, like semi-frequently you see more like paladin style people, and then you there's others which are just like more heavily armoured fighters. There's a bit of a mix. You can tell that they
archers and spearmen and shit.
Yeah. There's like a kind of a broad range of.
But they generally all sort of within a certain sort of uniform.
So the only ones that are some of them do have different crests. Most of them have the crest of Eastbourne, which is basically a sun rising on one side of the crest and a moon settling on the other side of the crest. That's like their sigil. And then you've also got the crestmen of Coolin Crest,
holding like flags and shit.
Who have the four swords. Yeah.
Because I'm just imagining like all of this massive military activity going on, and all of like the five of us very much sort of sticking out with our different colours and with us all
Yeah,
being different
yeah.
races and different sizes and different classes and stuff, like even though we're all very powerful, we're very almost like alien amongst them, you know.
Well, yeah. So there's like there's also quite a large amount of dwarves around, which are that are from the various battle cities, which are there to like inform on basically how to navigate dragon attacks, because that's their speciality. So and that's what's
They're
anticipated.
rolling in ballistas and shit.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Cool.
We've got them all on the walls and shit now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, so yeah, you're all basically going to be required to use whatever skills you have to enhance these situations. I imagine Dawn, you'll be getting on the magic defenses, just like helping with that kind of thing. And then yeah, I mean, what sort of things would you two be doing? I mean, what's Rudy even think about it? It's like not really a scene.
Really not. So yeah, you probably would have like we haven't been travelling together that long, but back when we were sort of going through.
We should have done some roleplay to get to know Rudy on the journey, maybe.
Oh, we can
Do it now.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Should we do some roleplay
that'd be
to
good.
get to know Rudy a little bit?
Yeah. So well, you'll have noticed sort of
It's a bit of a retcon. but-
she seems
No, it's
kind of
fine.
like very kind of relaxed and at peace when we were kind of going through the scales, which is more sort of in her territory. But I don't know if you will have picked up on this, but once we arrived in Cooling Press, all of a sudden, especially, like there wasn't even a sort of slow burn with it. You'll notice she's suddenly a lot more sort of stony faced and quite sort of unsettled by the kind of movement around her and the kind of like especially kind of the infantry guards that you were talking about earlier. She's sort of giving them a wide berth. And did you say Venat? She's sort of seen Venat.
Yeah. We would have
Yeah,
seen-
very
seen that.
sort of cold towards Venat. Well, when that engagement happens.
Sure.
So yeah, it's a real shift in kind of tone for her, I think.
So Rudy, you warned us of this happening, and now that it has come to pass, or it is coming to pass, how is it making you feel?
Sorry, just for the sake of the roleplay, shall we say that it's maybe like the end of the first day of you guys being there, and then it gives us a chance to roleplay, and we can say that like you're
Chilling in the Silver Sword.
yeah, basically, yeah, or in some barracks somewhere or something like that, yeah.
I reckon tell him, Rudy, you look unsettled. What say we get a drink and you can unburden that heavy weight I sense in your mind over a pint of fine mead.
Aye, that sounds great. Friends, let's remove ourselves from this place.
You find that when you so as you go, so you're going into the Silver Sword basically. Is that what you're saying? So yeah, you find that as you go into the Silver Sword, you see that the the innkeep.
Isn't the innkeep the blonde dwarven woman?
Well, she's got a head shaved, but yeah.
Yeah.
She does have. She's called Idex Goldlock. She told you that she used to have blonde flowing hair.
And she was the one I tried to lay it on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You find that when you go into the
I shall try again.
when you go into the Silver Sword, she's actually singing these stunningly beautiful dwarven ballads, basically, and you'd like not you've not heard her sing at all at any point, and it's like probably a bit shocking because she's always been a bit rough around the edges, but her tone is just like phenomenally beautiful, basically.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like the imminent doom of the town, and she's just singing this these beautiful songs, just trying to give everybody hope of the war that's to come.
Yeah, that's her idea. Yeah.
I'm imagining Mary singing to.
Yeah.
Misty eyes.
Crying his eyes out. Well, like, everyone's just like,
That's all you guys. You find that she, as she kind of like finishes maybe like a 10-minute song or so, and when it draws to a close, she kind of walks over to you guys, and you see that she seems like ever so slightly shy, but she's quite like a confident person, but you can see this element of like slight nervousness about her, and she just says, it's nice to see faces I recognise around here. I hear it was you lot that bought the brought the message to Coolin Cress.
I'm trying to remember how we found out. Yes, well,
Hogsonal.
Rudy,
Oh, no, Rudy.
Rudy here came to us with the information in the first place. May turn out to be quite the saviour.
That's very kind. Those are beautiful words you had there. It's been a long time since I've heard those songs sung quite like that.
Yes, I haven't sung them since I left my home, but I felt it was needed at the moment.
Where is your home?
If
you don't mind me asking.
I come from a town in the Scales. I've forgotten some of the places. I come from a town in the Scales. It's not far from the current capital, Balhook. It was there that my whole family were singers just like me, but after some certain events that I wouldn't really like to go into, I removed myself from them. As I mentioned, we all had great glowing, flowing golden locks, but as you can see, I have somewhat rejected that path. But enough about that. Regardless of what happens here at Coolin Cress, you lot will be going down as heroes. Why don't you have a few drinks?
On the house, I presume.
Of course.
Yes, I won't say no to that. And perhaps you can join us as we toast what's to come.
She says, if you're here, gone midnight perhaps, but I've got many soldiers to tend to.
Of course.
I'll wait till gone midnight for you.
Yeah, now that I'm a hero, DTF.
You're like a 12:30, 1 a.m. kind of broad. You up?
Says to her.
I know
I
am.
Because I am.
Right, that's enough of that. So yeah.
No role playing fucking the bard, mate.
Roll to ejaculate.
Roll a constitution saving throw.
To try not to come. Right, okay, so...
Can I just say we've got to roleplay some fucking sex at some point?
It'll just be you and Oscar though. We'll just be watching you and Oscar roleplay fucking each other. To be fair, any conversation over here is basically that. So.
Anyway, you guys have an opportunity to talk friendlily with one another. So, yeah, so you go for it, guys. Just do whatever you want.
So, Rudy, I must ask, how on earth did you come about this information?
I think I told.
You know, she
oh.
said that she...
Yeah, but
sure,
how,
you just want
how
more
did,
details already.
Yeah, no, she said that... No, like, I swear Rudy told us that Coolin Cress was being attacked.
Khazal told her.
So I
But
didn't know it was going to happen.
I don't know how she met
I
Khazal
was
then.
wandering the northern scales as I sometimes do, and I it was a very powerful attraction of magic to a spot, and if I'd known what I was getting myself into, I might have been more wary. But here we are.
I might know the spot. Was it
Oh.
a little area that gave you a great sense of comfort and
you
good
think.
feeling
Was
with the stones?
Stones,
Yes.
yeah, you know
What a
it.
spot!
Was there any elemental water there?
Fuck's
Nobody even believes this stuff exists. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Regular water.
Can you just mark it on my map?
And did Khazal come to you in person?
Aye, that's right. A big blue fella with a big gem in his chest.
Yes.
He seems mighty worried though, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yes, rather intimidating, I found.
Aye, he was that. First dragon I've yet to see it, and I wish I could say it would be the last.
Yes, well, I agree.
It was very, very impressive of him to be able to overcome the powers that currently control him to be able to converse with you so freely and honestly about these dangers.
They're important creatures, the dragons, and I just wish if they weren't poisoned by the influences they're currently under, then we can leave them be. But I fear what's to come is far beyond the natural balance of the world.
Surely, as a dwarf, the dragons have tried laying waste to numerous cities of your kin. Surely you must harbour some enmity towards the dragons.
Aye, of course. The
Yeah.
the chromatic dragons have been a scourge to my people for
Centuries.
right? And naturally I was raised to hate them, but I don't know, I've realised that we all act within ourselves as we were meant to be. It's the vicious poison of this mask of Crodratek.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I suppose you are just going to dress.
That I think might have swayed the path of the world.
You said you were roaming the scales. Were you looking for something?
No, I just I like to travel, like to see as much of the land beneath my feet as I can.
So do you not have a home?
I did once.
Me too.
And do you think that all of the dragons that have attacked your home cities are poisoned by the foul malice of Crodratek? Or do you think they are acting of their own free volition?
I wouldn't even begin to know why a dragon does what it does. And yeah, I can't really say that I'm happy for it because it's caused so much pain. But I mean, who are we to judge things we don't understand?
That is true. There is much of this world that eludes us and escapes us. Much of this world that is past mortal eyes of seeing. However, when the lives of our friends, your kin, and myself, most importantly, are at stake, I feel a certain amount of judgment is in order.
That's
And fear not, we will bring it to them.
I like your confidence, young man.
So, Trudy, your investment in this
Rudy.
quest... Rudy, sorry, Trudy, not. Your investment in this quest is simply to protect your homeland.
To protect all our homeland. The scourge that will be wreaked, at least this was what Khazal told me, and I think having met you and seen your quest, I have to agree with him. The world will be mired in death and destruction if we let the cult rise. It was certainly never my intention to save the world, but here we are.
Aye, here we are. Here.
Bottoms up.
Cheers.
Right.
With that, I need to go.
Yeah, nice. What a lovely end.
Nice little
session.
session.
Cool. Sorry, it was a little alley heavy, but
No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like being an eagle.
Yeah.
I was wary of fucking hogging it a little bit, but I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah,
Had a lot of fun.
We all
with
hog
that.
it sometimes.
Also, I sometimes feel like
Yeah.
like said lots and stuff.
And I have like long old conversations with people about shit. We all have our turns.
He like
Yeah.
he like progresses the story. You like progress the story. I just chat shit.
So just for
I met the Archmage, bitch.
I don't think you preferred you though.
How can you know?
Cast darkness on myself.
Just put only around your form.
I saw the chains and the runes that laden on him.
Yes, but you didn't understand them.
And nor would
Did you?
you.
Do we Are we gonna say? Shall we say that in the next session? Like, do we want to say in the next session we'll do, if everyone's here, we'll do a time skip and do the battle? Is that what I should?
Well, we need to
I've
obviously.
got some stuff prepared for the battle, but if that's what we're going for, I can properly enhance it.
We obviously need to also.
do.
We need to prepare how we're going to deal with the horn as well.
Yeah. So
You
we need to do
send
the
someone
horn,
off.
and we need to do. I think some more like. I think I'd like to maybe get to know Rudy a little
Yeah.
bit more before we do the battle.
Mhm.
Also, I've got a suggestion. For this battle, it's seeming like it's going to be pretty fucking epic. Would people be like be up for like buying some like building scenery and like making it look like
Or some walls and towers and shit.
yeah,
like that.
even
I just got paid. I can chip in.
even some like there's some pretty fucking dope houses as well, like on this website and stuff.
Isn't that website pretty fucking expensive though?
So like 4 ruins run at about 25 quid, like 4 like decent, like kind of that big.
And is that you get posted them, or is that you get the files and then you print them?
No,
This is
they're
pre-built.
actual pre-built. Like
I think painted as well, right?
For like-
No, they're not painted.
Not painted.
No,
If
I
we're-
mean, I'll
Yeah.
Could
By the way,
we
no
potentially?
obligation to
No,
chip in any money.
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to,
No,
of
so
course.
yeah, if we
But-
like, I'm up for buying some stuff, but should we start with stuff that we can kind of repurpose quite?
Mm.
Yeah. I wouldn't buy like really specific stuff.
Niche stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
like those,
Could we,
the
um,
ruin stuff that you.
Ruins or a shack or just general
If you
walls.
if you guys
Should
get
I-
stuff like
should-
that, and then
Should I show you some of the like?
Well,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Paul's-
do.
Paul's gotta go.
Yeah,
Make sure to whatever we end up deciding, just it'd be good to decide sooner rather than later, because if we get specific structures, I can build encounters specifically around those structures to use them, because that would be cool. If you know what I mean.
Or could we potentially pursue seeing if there's any
Principal things?
decent files that we could pay for and then you print?
Yeah.
So,
Or we could both even.
so
Also as well,
the
like,
thing I would
yeah.
say
I
is
do
that
have
the
some.
so
Bye,
for
guys.
example.
See you later.
See you later.
Thanks, that was great.
Yeah, cheers.
that was great.
Great.
One of the things I can do as well is if we just need placeholder shit as well, I can just with my fucking phone, I can just make some bullshit to indicate stuff that we can use. But yeah.
Like an upturned card
the
or
way-
a wall, or
and
what
just-
is it? Is it a craggy rock?
So you guys, just so you guys are aware as well, what I had in my mind about how, because I've done a big battles like a couple of times, and I'm trying. It's not something I'm super familiar with, but what I'm thinking I'm going to do for this one is that there's basically, I'm going to have the main city map, and there's going to be different events in and around the city, which when we go to would be like little micro encounters basically, and then each one would contribute to different things, and based on successes and failures will affect the outcome of the battle. So.
Yeah, cool.
I've put a little bit of thought into it, and so a nice STL file is like £20.
Oh, really? That much?
So they're actually
For what?
like a scenery block, and the scenery, the resin for the big scenery things is actually starts to factor in as like as like an expense.
The only thing is if we, because while I'm in favour of something like that where it's pre-painted, pre-made and stuff.
It's not
we do-
pre-painted.
Not pre-painted.
Oh, not pre-painted, but either way, we've got the pre-made structure, which is going to be high quality. We can also like use the STL files more in future and chip in for resin over time and get more of them.
Yeah, sure.
Essentially, but
Yeah, that's true.
Also,
if we get the
I've
file.
got a bunch of free files for random stuff like walls and shit, which we
Yeah,
can
they look pretty sick.
sort of use.
Like, and I'm
So
sure
it doesn't need to
I'm,
be super detailed.
I'm
It's
sure
like-
with a
No,
bit
it
of digging
needs
as
to
well,
be
you could
super-
find all sorts of stuff,
Needs to-
couldn't you?
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and
like
also-
rocks.
Okay, well I'll show you some options.
I guarantee that Will would be happy to fucking chip some money,
Yeah.
as well, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
And another thing as well that we can do, which might be quite fun, is people make a lot. There's loads of tutorials for it online and stuff. People who make structures out of like popsicle sticks and stuff. You can make little boxes and we can paint them brown or grey or whatever.
Pillars.
I mean, yeah.
If we just
Well,
need imaginary
crates.
structures as well as some cool.
Obviously,
invisible
yeah.
buildings.
This stuff would all be
A
fucking
bit of
lit,
combo
but
would be cool.
Yeah.
I guess
agree.
for the next
So-
session, trying to have stuff that's relevant to what Cool and Crest would look like.
Mm.
You
Do you think
know.
that would fit?
Yeah, I guess
And
barrels are pretty
Let's have a look.
universal.
It's got a dot.
Well, okay.
Right?
So that is £28 for that. It's pretty big. It's like
Yeah.
you know.
That's cool,
That's
but that's
very-
that's
very
cool, but
cool
that's
and
not
Crest.
Cool and Crest.
that building is.
Oh yeah, but
dock-
Cool and
the dock
Crest doesn't
must
have a
be
river
the
through it.
dock, yeah.
So,
Fine. Okay.
but
That
that
kind of style. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm assuming Cool and Crest is a lot of timber, but then also stone as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of a combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Because
stopped
it's in-
streaming.